No, just no. Can you see if we're streaming? It says that I'm streaming. Oh. welcome to F1 Tonight UK. And joining me in the commentary box this evening, as always, is Guido, BigBadBudha, Erschen. Good evening, Guido. How are you this evening, sir?
Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Not too bad at all. Getting through this.
Very good.
Obviously, everyone's having difficult times. That is the beginning and the end of mentioning that. This is an evening for fun and excitement, anticipation, trepidation, and gasps and whoops as we see the guys race here at the circuit, the Barcelona, Catalunya, for Season 2, Round 5, the Spanish Grand Prix. So, without further ado, let's go through the championship standings as they are at this moment. So, leading the way, Phil Harris for Ferrari on 76 championship points. Second, jumping up to second, is Dylan Platt with 56 points for Red Bull. Third is Sean Street, jumping up to third with 43. Dropping down to 4 is Lee Pratt for Ferrari. In 5, we have Ross Milburn for Racing Point. 6 is Chris Knight for Alfa Romeo. His teammate, Thomas Cook, is in 7th. 8th is Matt Goodyear for Mercedes. 9, Jamie Good for Toro Rosso. 10 is Cameron Widdowson for Rocket Williams. 11 is Callum White for Red Bull. Was 17. He's slowly moving up through the championship. 12 is Jake Sorrell for Racing Point. 13, Jack Wilson for Renault. 14, Josh Diggles for Rocket Williams. 15 is Ryan Lear for Haas. 16, Tony Foster for McLaren. 17 is Ryan Doran for Haas. 18 is Carl Jackson for Mercedes. And 19 is Adrian Rich for Renault. And the new driver, rookie driver, joining us this evening is Richard Williams, number 66 for Toro Rosso. So, Guido, as we can see, obviously Phil Harris still maintaining that lead that he's got, obviously, in these early races. But we can see Dylan Platt already moved up to second, was 4th last week, and he's done really, really well. Good result for him last week. Obviously, his main competitor, Phil Harris, did not finish the race. Yeah. That was a DNF. So it's starting to look pretty interesting now that we're here on race 5, isn't it?
He's knocking at the door. He's knocking at the door, and he's coming really close. And, well, I think there's going to be some overtaking in those standings. Maybe not today, because, you know, it depends on if somebody has a DNF. Yeah. But he's coming really close.
He is coming close, and Sean Street is following short behind there. Sean Street had a great result last week as well, getting on the podium. So good results all round there. McLaren, Sean Street doing well. Lee Pratt has dropped down to 4th, but I'm sure he's going to be looking to challenge. And then we've got the likes of Ross Milburn, Chris Knight and Thomas Cook, the Sauber drivers, doing well as well there, holding 6th and 7th. And Jamie Good was the solo Toro Rosso driver, now joined this evening by Richard Williams. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does. So let's move on to the Constructors' Championship. And leading the way, unsurprisingly, are Ferrari on 108 points. But second, Red Bull up on 72. So jumping up to that second place. Third, jumping into third, is McLaren on 51. 4th is Alfa Romeo, and 5th is Rocket Williams. Then we have 5 is Racing Point. 6 is Rocket Williams. Get it right, Ed, honestly. 7 is Mercedes. 8 is Toro Rosso. 9 is Haas. And 10 is Renault. We can obviously see the division starting to happen already with some of the teams there. But it's looking, as we expect, close, obviously, with those drivers in the top 3, Ferrari, Red Bull and McLaren. We can see that reflected at the moment, certainly in the Constructors' Championship, can't we?
Yeah, the Ferrari left some points on the tarmac there, and Red Bull just took it They had a P1, P3.
Yep,
so,
they did. They had a great result. So for those of you that haven't watched our streams before or haven't seen our racing, please do go onto the YouTube channel. All the races are on there, and have a look through them. You'll see some very exciting racing. And last week in Azerbaijan, as always, that delivers on the racecraft and the ability of the guys, and what a tough track it is. So catch that. And this Thursday, we'll touch on, obviously, the Netherlands League will be here in Barcelona, Catalunya circuit as well. Okay, so we're talking about the circuit. Let's have a look at that circuit. So here we are, circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. And 16 corners, as is pretty much the regular on F1 tracks. 3 sectors. But let's have a look at the race distance. So lap distance is 2.892 miles. Race distance is 190.82 miles. And it is 66 laps. So a relatively long race. Not the longest, but certainly one of the longer ones. Sector 1. That takes from the start-finish line round turns 1, 2 and 3. Sector 2 takes us from just before turn 4 round down halfway between turns 9 and 10. And then the third and final sector takes us from that point to the start-finish line. 2 DRS points. First DRS detection point is between 8 and 9 as you're going up the hill towards 9, for those of you familiar with the track. And activates on the exit of 9, leading down to, the hairpin, basically, of 10.
Yeah.
And then the second DRS detection point is as you're coming out of that little chicane, 14 and 15, recent addition to the track there, was previously straight. And they've put that in, and that detects just after you come out of turn 15 and activates as you go down the start-finish straight, leading you towards turn 1. And the speed trap, unsurprisingly, is as you're approaching turn 1. Guido, technically, quite a difficult track. In real world F1, obviously, it is a test track. And it's quite infamous for the crosswinds and how the track can vary. Obviously, we don't get that same sort of reflection in the game itself. But that said, technically quite a tricky track. But overtaking, I mean, we're more likely to see most of the overtaking into that turn 1, aren't we, this evening?
Turn 1, maybe turn 10. I have to say that some of the guys who really have, how'd you say that? Are not afraid to overtake, can take it on turn 2 going into 3. Yeah. But that's a really difficult corner, turn 2. If you hit the throttle too quickly or too early, you might be going off. So there, people, if they're watching turn 2 in the first few corners for the race, it's probably some stuff's gonna happen there.
Yeah.
Turn 5, tricky corner down. And then obviously turn 7 is a quick one up. The hairpin turn 10. You have to shift all the way back to maybe second gear. And I think that third sector is the most challenging, short turns.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll see the variation in the track, quite a lot of variation in the elevation of the track as well. Turn 4, you're going downhill. Turn 7, you're going uphill. Turn 9, going to 10, you're going downhill. 11, 12, you're going uphill. And then 13, out of 13, you're going downhill. So there is quite a lot of undulation in the track, and you'll see that once we get onto the track. Okay.
Yeah, the one that I forgot to mention is corner 11 that has a little bit, how'd you say that, a higher curb on the left side, and it's a bit of a bump. Some people take it, some people don't, but the car tends to slide a bit when you go out there. So that's a really tricky corner as well, and I think things are going to happen over there as well.
It's going to be an interesting one. Okay, Guido, I'm going to just switch across to a transition screen. We're going to have the video running in the background, but I'm going to reduce the sound on that so you can actually go through the runners and riders for this evening while I prepare for the main event.
Yeah, for Ferrari, you have Lee Pratt, Phil Harris, Red Bull, Dylan Platt, Callum White. McLaren, Sean Street, Tony Foster. The Haas drivers, Ryan Leah, Ryan Doran. The new driver, Richard Williams, is driving for Toro Rosso. He's going to start at the back because that's one of the rules we do in F1 tonight. If you get a new driver, the first race you start at the back at quali, and next race you can qualify and just do your thing. Also, Jamie Good is a driver there. Racing Point, Ross Milburn, Jake Sorrell, Williams, Cameron Widdowson, and Josh Diggles. Alfa Romeo has Chris Knight. Thomas Cook is not running tonight, so Alfa Romeo is only one driver. Then you got Carl Jackson and Matt Goodyear for Mercedes, Jack Wilson, and Adrian Torpedo Stats Rich is also there for the Renault.
Yeah, indeed. It's going to be an interesting one. Apologies for delay in getting on to the main event. Unfortunately, as always, you check everything beforehand, but I was actually on the wrong account. So that's why, unfortunately, slight delay there. But we're just connecting now, so we will be with the guys on the track, and they are in the Q1 session. As Guido was touching on there, we do obviously have a number of guys at this moment in time who are suffering penalties, so they've had to go for a back start.
Cameron Widdowson, Callum White, Jamie Good, and Jake Sorrell.
So that's Cameron Widdowson for Williams, Cameron Widdowson for Cameron Widdowson for Williams, Callum White for Red Bull, Jamie Good for Toro Rosso, and Jake Sorrell for Racing Point, and that's for they're serving penalties back start for not uploading their clips from last week. Their start clips, and Richard Williams, the new driver, number 66 for Toro Rosso, he'll be taking P19 as he's a rookie driver, and that is the rules that we apply to rookie drivers. First race, you start at the back. Okay, so we are now, as I say, into the Q1 session. Those guys have DNF, so effectively this Q1 session is really a bit of a test session, as we see Dylan Platt fishtailing. Looks like round turn 4, I think that wasn't it, or was it 3?
I haven't seen that. I was looking at some comments from the people who are commenting on our stream. Bear in mind that I'm trying to answer them, we are trying to answer them.
Yeah, for those of you that are watching on YouTube this evening, please do feel free to leave as many comments as you like, because Guido is going to be looking at them. So the more time he spends looking at them, the less time he is talking on the stream.
Well, there you go.
So
I'll mute my mic right now.
So that's where we are at this moment in time. We are on board at this moment with Dylan Platt. He is second in the Drivers' Championship. Is Season 1 winner for F1 Tonight UK. Hasn't really had a start to the season that he was looking for so far, but he's starting to get back up there, isn't he? He's climbing up, isn't he? He's been a bit unlucky in the first few races.
Yeah, unlucky, pushing the tires a bit too far, but obviously having the tools to do it technically, and well, he knows what he's working with, so he's capable enough to do that. Yeah. But it's sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah,
that is very, very true indeed. And Dylan, certainly the opening of this season has not gone as well as he wished. DNF, etc., and collisions, contacts, but last week brought it back at Baku. So he's here at the Barcelona Catalunya circuit to, I think, seal the deal, really. He's really looking to get to that P1 in the drivers as soon as possible, but we cannot by any means at all discount Phil Harris in any way, shape or form, can we?
No, we cannot. That's going to be a good fight. You know, I hope they're going to drive together as they did before, and then well, basically switch positions in every lap. Yeah, and there's some great fighting going on. So Dylan Platt just coming round the final turn now onto the start-finish straight. Sean Street is the other man on track at this moment. He's just going up towards elevate, going towards 9. And that's the uphill elevation I was talking about. Comes around 9, you've got to go in nice and tight left, watch the exit as you come out.
Coming down, this is the DRS. Now this is the hairpin of 10. You've got to be careful. You really got to hit that apex as you come round, run over the rumble strip. This is the tricky one though, 11, 12, isn't it? Because it's easy to lay down the power early and go flying off the track there.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah.
But and this is also a bit tricky.
Yeah, down into 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
Watch your curbs there, watch your exit. Very easy to go off the racing line and actually pick up a penalty point. We're now on board with Dylan Platt as he's coming down out of 5 into 6, 7, going uphill now, round 8 into 9. As I say, you can see the undulation in the track. As I say, in real world F1, Catalunya is the main testing track for the F1 team. Well, it is the testing track for the F1 teams. So a lot of the cars set up. So a lot of talk in real world F1 about whether the Barcelona Catalunya track should actually be in the calendar, seeing as all the teams are so familiar with it. But then again, they're all familiar with it, so there's not really any great loss there. So let's quickly run through this. 11 drivers then going through, 19 drivers. Callum White is 19, Richard Williams will be starting 18, Jamie Good 17, Cameron Widdowson will be 16, 15 will be Jake Sorrell, 14 Ryan Lear, 13 Lee Pratt, and 12 will be Kyle Jackson. We're just about to go into Q2. Normally in the Q2 session you'd have 15 drivers, but due to penalties obviously those guys have effectively gone out. I believe it looks like we're going to have 11 drivers, and from those 11 drivers the 10 fastest will then go through to the final Q3 session. The important thing to remember about the Q2 session is the drivers that are in that top 10, whatever they set their lap on, whichever tyre they set their lap on, that will be the tyre that they'll be starting the race with. So quite often it gives you an idea of what the guys are actually looking at, somewhat from a strategy point of view, doesn't it, Guido?
Yeah, because that's when you see which tires they have used already. Are they going to start on a slower tire? They're going to use a longer stint to run in the beginning, or are they going to go for a 2-stop or a 3-stop? That's the things you can possibly get from that. But then again, possibly, because there's a lot of things going on and a lot of safety cars lately, so
yeah, definitely
might shake up a bit the things a bit.
Chris Knight in the Alfa Romeo leading the pack out. Looks to me like he's got Dylan Platt. Yeah, Dylan Platt is behind him, and then I suspect it's Sean. No, it's not Sean Street. It's Tony Foster who's behind them. So Dylan, second man out on track, and Chris Knight is the first man out on track. So let's stay with Chris Knight. For those of you, again, who are unfamiliar to F1, let's see if we can give you some helpful hints there. So if you look at the driver names, you can see the circles, the red circle with the S, the white circle with the H, and the yellow circle with the M. That denotes the tyres that the drivers are on. Soft is the red. That's the softest tyre, should give you the highest grip and the highest speeds. Yellow is the medium tyre, so that sits in the middle of the trio effectively. And then hard, as the name suggests, hard is the hardest compound tyre, and that's if you're looking for some really long runs. Depending upon the track, now some of you might think, okay, well, if you want to go really deep, you always go on the hard. If you want to go really fast, you always go on the soft. Yes and no, because it does depend very much on the track. It also depends on the style of the driver, the conditions, and many other factors. So yes, the red wall tyre is the fastest, but it is also the one with the shortest lifetime. And yes, the white H is the hardest and generally has the longest lifetime, but that doesn't always pan out. As I say, some tracks it doesn't necessarily work that way, and you just can't race on the hard compound tyre. So then you're looking at the medium, and sometimes the medium, can last longer. Really does depend, but it is quite critical, tyre strategy and stops. And again, Guido was referring there to the number of stops. Ideally, in an ideal world, the drivers would only like to stop one time and change the tyres. But in reality, it doesn't work out that way. But we'll see what happens here. So the guys just on their opening lap. So what do you expect to see is guys go out, put a few opening laps down, get some rubber down on the track, come into the pits, have a see what's happening, and then in the final 5 minutes, that's generally where it tends to go a little bit crazier, isn't it, Guido?
Yeah, it is. I was just looking at the last season's race, and it Q3 said the P1 time was 1:31.779, and that was on a wet, so the whole Q was wet.
Yeah.
And so it's not representative of what it's going to be, but they're going to be probably 119s.
I would expect so. We're on board with Dylan Platt, so let's stay on board with him. Going into turn 1, right-hander. Just get tight, watching to the left, turn 2. You're now starting to go uphill, going around turn 3. Got to watch your grip as you're building up the speed round there. Get as straight as you can, getting down towards turn 4. Right, uphill. Watch it as you wind up around there into downhill now, into 5. Watch your exit going over to the right-hand side. Don't want to run too wide on that rumble strip. Into 6. Now hitting 7, left-hander, start to go uphill. 8, right-hander. Coming down to 9 now, hard right-hander. Nicely executed there. He's got DRS now, and again, those of you who aren't familiar with DRS, I'll touch on it in a second. Left round that hairpin of 10, into turn 11, 12. Really watch it around there, you don't want to lose grip. He's got the fastest middle sector. Into turn 13 now, downhill towards the chicane, turn 14, into 15, coming down to the final turn 16 now. Let's see what Dylan can do. Ooh, nice one, sir. 119.082. Chris Knight is into the pits. He's not happy with that. Tony Foster into the pits as well. Let's see who's coming around. Phil Harris is now coming around in the Ferrari. He's also into the pits, so he's not happy. Oh, he's done a fast lap already, so he's okay with that. 119.316. Matt Goodyear in the Mercedes has done 119.25. Tony Foster 119.445. Chris Knight 119.6. Josh Diggles a 119.8. Ryan Doran in the Haas a 120.4. Adrian Rich is out on track at the moment in the Renault, just coming round the final corner now. This is looking a good time.
Oh,
119.1.
Nice.
Wow, nice one. So Adrian Rich in the Renault on the soft compound tyre, 119.1. So good run from him. Rose Millhouse, or Ross Milburn as it is. I don't know why he's using his other gamer tag there. Bit of a weird one. So that's Ross Milburn. He's in the Racing Point. He just does a 119.672. So only Sean Street and Jack Wilson to set a time. Jack Wilson is just coming round 15 now. Oh, goes a bit squirmy out of 15 there to correct. That has affected. He's on an outlap though, so that's okay. That's good news. He's on an outlap. Sean Street is also on an outlap, so we're okay. Jack Wilson starting his fast lap now. DRS, we're referring to DRS. And the DRS, you can see the wing there on the back of that Renault. If we stay with him, as he comes around into turn 9. He's not there yet, he's just coming around turn 4 now in that first sector. Coming down the hill. Should actually have gone with Ross Milburn, because he's just coming out of 9 now himself. But anyway, we'll stay with Jack Wilson. You can see the back wing there, and what happens is when they hit the DRS, that back wing opens up, so effectively it's increasing the airflow through that back wing rather than impeding it, and that makes the car go faster. So that's your DRS, that's your overtaking spots, and if you recall, that's out of turn 9 to 10 where we are now. You see that back wing, then it closes, and then you've got that on the start finish straight as well. In combination with the DRS, you've also got ERS, which is the electronic recovery system. Now that is a smart device. It's these cars are effectively hybrid, so you've got a petrol engine and an electric engine, and that electric engine gets its energy from the braking point. So when the car is braking, it generates energy which is then stored in this ERS system and can be used by the driver to boost their output. And it could give you an extra about, I think it's 150 horsepower. If I'm incorrect, please do let me know on the stream in the comments. And that can make all the difference, can't it, Guido? I mean, especially when you're on a DRS, you combine that with ERS and you can really, really get some speed up, can't you?
Yeah, it's good to have that in an overtake situation on long straights. Usually when you go back for the slipstream, you already get a little bit less a drag from the car in front of you. But as you rightfully say, when you open the back wing, it propels the car. And then if you even have more power, well, hey, that's what you want. But then again, the ERS will go down. And you have to charge it.
You have to replenish it. Yeah, Sean Street there putting in blind time 1:19.2, and let's have a quick look here. Jack Wilson coming round into 13 now, round the chicane there into the final corner now, and if he can maintain it, this could be a good time. This is looking at 1:19, I'd say. Yeah, 1:19.4. So it puts him up provisionally into P6, so good run there. And as you can see, a lot of the drivers now coming in and pitting. So some drivers will stay out, but again, if you recall, what I was saying is whatever they set their fastest lap on, that will be what they'll be starting the race on. So sometimes they want to try and keep that the laps on those tyres as to a minimal. Dylan Platt, going out the hardest compound tyre. Now, we were talking about the compounds of tyres, how they work, and you maybe think, well, hang on a minute, the guy's gone the fastest, he's actually on a hard compound tyre. Let me tell you, Dylan Platt is a bit of a specialist on the hard compound tyre, isn't it, Guido?
He's a bit different than the other guys. He's, well, I have to say, for the top guys, top three, they tend to drive on the wide tyres, on the harder compounds. But it's incredible what Dylan can pull off with these tires. He stays on these tires outside so long. If nothing happens, if there's no situation within a safety car or so, but he's one of these special guys who can use it and abuse them. Yeah, absolutely. It's sometimes I think about this is ridiculous what this guy has to show.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. He is going out. He's gone out onto the medium. He did this last week at Baku as well. Went out on the hards and then went out for a second run on the medium. So he knows where his mark is on those hards. It's 1:19.0. He's now gone out on the mediums, and one can only expect him to go faster on that set of mediums, really. So it's going to be interesting to see. He's leaving his options there. Not too sure what he's going to go for. Josh Diggles, in the meantime, has taken that P2 position for Rocket Williams, and he's done a 1:19.095. Adrian Rich has decided that discretion is the better part of valor, so he's happy with his 1:19.1, and he's going to stick with that. And I can't blame him for that. So he's actually retired from the session, and he's happy with that time. He's not going to be going back out on track. Matt Goodyear still in the pits, Sean Street in the pits, Phil Harris. Tony Foster is out on track in the McLaren. Jack Wilson in the pits, Chris Knight is out on track, Ross Milburn and Ryan Doran. So remember, one driver will be dropped here. At the moment, it's looking like Ryan Doran for Haas, I've got to say. But what's the drop time going to be? I mean, we've got just over 3.5 minutes remaining. I would suspect that we're going to be looking at that 1:19.6 coming down. Yeah, I think we're going to be looking low 1:19s. I mean, we're in the mid 1:19. I suspect the drop point's probably going to be round about 1:19.3 or 4.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what it's going to do now.
Well, it's all important for Ryan Doran in the Haas. He really needs to pull the stops out now. Oh, goes wide.
Oh, goes wide.
Out of 9 there.
Plowing.
Can be a treat. He's done the purple middle sector, though, so it's looking good.
Oh, slides a bit,
rides it pretty rough round 12 there.
Well, pushes it hard, and obviously you want to, because you want to stay in.
But this is not looking too bad. I'm wondering if he's going to actually go down into 1:19.3s. He hasn't invalidated his lap. He's got to be careful. We do run strict... No, he hasn't. We do run strict track limits. And 119.8, so he's got into the 119s. I was expecting to go a bit low, but he lost it a bit in that final chicane, didn't he, Guido?
Yeah, if you lose a little bit of grip and it starts sliding a bit, it takes off so much time. So you really want to be careful with that. And obviously you're going to push it.
Oh, look at that! Ross Milburn comes round. He does a 118.1 on that medium compound tyre. 118.1. He's taken out nearly a second from Josh Diggles, who was on the medium. I mean, what's Dylan Platt going to do? Dylan Platt just coming round the final chicane now. I don't think that's not. I don't know. Is it? Look at this. Is dearie me. Yeah, this is looking really good as well. 117.9. 117.9. So Dylan Platt breaks Ross Milburn's time there immediately with a 117.9. Wow, that is going some. Remember, he did a 119.0, so he's taken out a full 1.2 seconds between the hard compound tyre and that medium compound tyre. I mean, that is more or less what you would expect, but great run there from Dylan. You didn't
need to do that. If you wanted to stay on the wide tyre, it would be fine. But obviously, you wanted a little bit to show.
Yeah, but he's had issues.
Here,
I mean, we know Dylan starts on the hard, and he has had issues on the early races with starting on the hard compound tyres, and I think that's why he's changing his strategy somewhat. He's going for that medium start. He did it last week as well in Baku, and he's going for it again this week here at Spain. So he's opting for the medium compound tyre for the start because it gives him that bit of extra grip and a potential grunt at the start.
Yeah.
So we've got just under a minute remaining. And Dylan Platt leading the pack in this Q2 session with that 117.9. Ross Milburn second with a 118.1. Josh Diggles third with 119.0. Tony Foster currently fourth with 119.1. Adrian Rich fifth with a 119.1. Matt Goodyear 119.2 is sixth. 7 Sean Street with 119.2. Phil Harris with 119.3 is 8. 9 is Jack Wills with 119.4. Chris Knight at 119.6. We are on board with him now. Ryan Doran has done a 119.8. I'm sure he can improve on that. Oh, look at that. Chris Knight up into third there with a 118.7. That means that the drop point is now, as we expected, that 119.4, 119.3. So a lot of work here. I mean, he's done a great job. He did a purple in the middle sector, but he's really got to put it all together now if he wants to get through to that Q3.
He's trying to get it. Oh, I think he pushes a little bit too hard. But does he get it?
This could be it. This could be. No. 119.7. He does better his previous time.
He does better his time.
By a 100th. But unfortunately, Ryan Doran will be starting P11. He is out of the Q3 session. He'll be starting P11, row 6. But a valiant fight from him there, wasn't it, Guido?
Yeah, good fight. Good try.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what you see when you push just a little bit too hard and you don't have the control over it. It just tends to break out a bit and you lose just a little bit too much.
Yeah, so Dylan Platt will be Ryan Doran will be starting in P11, row 6. And the top 10 is Jack Wilson for Renault, Phil Harris for Ferrari, Sean Street for McLaren, Matt Goodyear for Mercedes, Adrian Rich for Renault, Tony Foster for McLaren, Josh Diggles for Williams, Chris Knight for Alfa Romeo, and Ross Milburn for Racing Point, and finally Dylan Platt for Red Bull. So, Guido, before the Q3 session gets underway, our normal little, let's say, gentleman's wager. Who are you going to put on pole, Guido?
I'm going to put Phil on pole.
Okay. I am actually going to go for Chris Knight in the Alfa Romeo. And who are you going to put for winner, Guido?
I'm going to stick with my pole.
Are you going to go with
Mr. Harris?
Mr. P. Harris. Mr. Phil Harris. I'm going to go for Ross Milburn. I'm mixing it up a bit. So I've got Chris Knight for pole, Ross Milburn for the win, and Guido's gone for a double whammy from Phil Harris for pole and the win. And it looks like double whammy. Yes, it's an English expression. I'll teach you that one later, mate.
Oh no, I know it. A whammy.
Sean Street leads the way. He's followed by Phil Harris in the Ferrari. Although he's not the first man out on track. Who's the first man out on track?
Phil is he? Yeah,
no, it's not. No, Sean Street.
Oh, Sean.
Yeah, it's Sean Street.
Sean Street.
But I can see a car ahead of him, which is a bit weird. Is that Matt Goodyear?
No.
Josh Diggles?
Sean Street's the first
Josh
one
Diggles. Josh Diggles is the first man out on track.
Well, maybe a good one for for everybody watching. Who's the first man on the track?
Yeah, I don't know. I was watching them all come out the pits and I didn't see him come out, so I was a little bit surprised. So Josh Diggles will be the first man to set a fast lap. He's on his out lap at this moment in time. We'll actually go on board with him and see, because it's quite interesting, isn't it, Guido? The way the driving styles of some of the drivers, not everyone necessarily follows the same lines, do they? So, and you do get quite a variation sometimes between the drivers, and this is one of those tracks where you tend to see it a little bit more. And what's he got there? Oh, look at that. 1:17.9. Now that is good. That is good. Obviously, that was the opening lap. Now I haven't chosen to show you the tyres because I know what they're all going to be on. They're all going to be on the red softball tyre because they're obviously looking for the fastest lap. So generally Q3 don't tend to show that because it's everyone is on the red tyre there. So Phil Harris set a 1:17.6. Sean Street with a 1:18.2. Chris Knight sets a 1:17.967. Matt Goodyear in the Mercedes a 1:19.0. Adrian Rich still in the pit. Ross Milburn coming round 12 now.
Oh, Tony Foster got disqualified.
Has he? I haven't seen that yet.
Driving the wrong way.
Oh, he must have spun the car. So Tony Foster spun the car on the track and has been disqualified for going the wrong way on the track. He'll be starting in P10. Ross Milburn goes P5. Jack Wilson has gone P8 and Adrian Rich is still in the pit. Jack Wilson is teammate at the moment, just coming down round 6. Coming up now towards turn 7. And surprised that Adrian hasn't come out as yet. He's obviously waiting till everyone's bedded down a bit more, I guess.
Yeah, when it's a little bit more quiet and there's a little bit more rubber on the tarmac, I guess.
Well, Dylan Platt smashes his previous time, a 1:17.123. Phil Harris is still, well, 5/10 off the back of him, half a second, quite a lot there. Chris Knight at 1:17.8, so close between the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari there. And everyone more or less coming into the pits. Jack Wilson now coming down, see what he can do. He moves up 1 to 7, 1:18.8. So that helps him. He'll be coming into the pit at the end of this lap. What about Ross Milburn? He's just coming round the chicane into the final corner. Now he's into the pits as well. So that was his closing lap there, coming into the pits. I think Chris Knight could be on a fast lap.
Going to do it. You know, I hope he sets a good time because it's.
I think he's just psyching himself up. Adrian Stats Rich, the Renault driver, we know him well. He was co-commentating with me last season for F1 Tonight NL. Yeah. And we've had a little change around, so Adrian does still commentate for NL, but on a Thursday night. But that's with Dan Hazard. So that's on a Thursday evening, 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time, every Thursday, and they will be racing this Thursday at the Barcelona Catalunya Spain. And Chris Knight deciding last minute to come into the pits there. But yeah, so Adrian, great driver, commentates say on a Thursday, and he's obviously happy with that. He's wondering what he's going to need to do to actually keep that. So I think he's just getting himself psyched up for it, basically. So good luck, Adrian. Let's see what you can do. Jack Wilson, his teammate, into the pits. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Let's hope he's got some loo roll with him, though.
if it's still there.
If it's still there, yeah. Maybe the next door neighbour might have pinched it. Matt Goodyear is on an outlap now, so he's going to try and see if he can better himself. But at this moment, obviously, Dylan's taking that P1, Phil Harris P2, Chris Knight P3, Josh Jiggles 4, Ross Milburn 5, Sean Street 6, Jack Wilson 7, Matt Goodyear currently 8, Adrian Rich still to set a time. Tony Foster was disqualified, so he'll be starting in P10 in that McLaren.
Sean Street's gone on a fast lap now, going into corner 1.
Let's go on board. Well, let's follow him on the off-board there, effectively, for his fast lap. So let's see what Sean Street can do. He's certainly got the ability, hasn't he, Sean? I mean, he is a fast driver, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He is very fast because he's just. What did he do? He went P2.
Yeah.
In Azerbaijan.
Yeah, and he's P3 at the moment in the Drivers' Championship.
Well, there you go. So that means you're fast enough, and but in the end, it all has to come together at some time or at some certain time in the race.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's this thing. I mean, and again, Guido. I mean, obviously, you race with F1 tonight, Netherlands. So you'll be racing this Thursday. 7 seasons now for Netherlands. Second season for UK. So you've got a bit of race experience under your belt there. Yeah. And the thing is, though, it's 100% races. Most people, when they're used to watching the F1E motorsports, they're used to seeing half-distance races. And that isn't the case here. We go full distance, full quali, and it is quite a difference.
In the end of the evening, your shirt will stick to your back because it is a concentration game. And this was 66 laps, so probably at lap 45. Somewhere people are gonna start losing a bit of concentration, and that's my Achilles heel a bit. It just tends to go a bit after a long sit like that, and it is difficult. It's not grueling, not gruesome, but it's different than a 50%.
Well,
definitely.
I was watching Lando Norris on one of his streams. On the Sunday of the Australian Grand Prix, and his complaint, and he did a half-distance race, was how much his back was hurting because of the obviously the driving and the stress you put. It's totally different stress to real-world driving, but you are still, putting a lot of power and a lot of stress, especially if you've got force. Well, you're going to have a force feedback wheel. So it makes a hell of a difference. It really does on the wheel. We do still have a couple of drivers that do. I think we still have a couple of drivers that drive on the controllers. So it's interesting, and that's an even bigger skill set to try and keep the cars aligned using a controller. But a lot of drivers, obviously, with the full rig, with the steering wheel, pedals, etc. But it does make a difference, certainly. And we got 2.25 minutes remaining of this Q3 session. You are watching F1 Tonight UK Season 2, Round 5, the Spanish Grand Prix here at the circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. And we expect a fantastic race. Really looking forward to it.
All right, Adrian's going to set his time. What's it gonna be?
It looks like we may have a
119.
Looks like we may have a resignation from race. Looks like one of the drivers is having to jump out. So unfortunately, looks like Jamie Good has had to jump out due to unforeseen circumstances. So Jamie Good will not be racing this evening as expected. That's a great shame, but we'll see what happens there.
Okay, hope everything's all right there.
Yeah, so do I actually, hope so. And that's Jamie is with the Toro Rosso, so he won't be able to make it, unfortunately. So just a little bit of an update there. Also, for those of you that are watching, as I said, Guido is watching the live comments, so please feel free to drop a comment to us. Good, bad or indifferent. Let me warn you now that the bad will probably be kicked off, but anyway. But let's get some feedback. Any questions you have relating to the drivers, the track, the league, what we do, etc. Please do feel free to put any questions there. Put in your hellos, and we will say hello back to you. And equally, if you've got any friends, family, people you know that feeling a bit down at the moment, get them to tune in if they like their motorsports, see what they think of this F1E motorsport event. Hopefully they'll enjoy it.
Share it.
Share it, indeed. So let's get some comments going there. as Ross Milburn comes into the pits. Time remaining now. So these guys are out on track now. This is do or die. Dylan Platt coming round. And he's leading the pack now. He's into the third sector. He's done purple in the middle sector. This is looking very good indeed. Look at this. Round the penultimate turn 15 there, coming round 16. Nice overhead shot as he gets onto the straight. This is going to be 116. 116.7. Absolutely phenomenal. And Chris Knight is coming in behind. I've also got Matt Goodyear in the middle there, but I'll stay with Chris Knight. He was my selection for the pole. He needs to beat a 116.7. So let's see if he can do it. Coming down now into 13, 14. Looks like he slowed right down there.
Slow down.
Yeah, he has. Big time. Yeah, he's into the pits. He's into the pits.
I guess we both didn't get it.
No, it doesn't look like it. Let's see where Phil Harris is. Phil Harris will come in second. So Phil Harris in the Ferrari will be second on the pole. Chris Knight looks like he's going to be third. Matt Goodyear is going to be row 2, P4. Josh Diggles is going to be row 3, P5. Ross Milburn is going to be P6. 7 is Sean Street. Row 4, Jack Wilson is in P8. And row 5, Adrian Rich, P9, Tony Foster in P10. But Dylan does it, but he's got his major competitor, Phil Harris, right next door to him. And let's not forget Chris Knight as well, pretty fast here. Matt Goodyear in the Mercedes, they're in row 2. Now, both Dylan Platt and Phil Harris will be starting on the medium compound tyre, if memory serves me correctly. But I think Thomas Cook could be on the soft, and so could Matt Goodyear. So that could really mix it up. So there we have confirmation of the driver positions. P1, row 1 will be Dylan Platt for Red Bull. Alongside him in P2 will be Phil Harris for Ferrari. Row 2, P3 will be Chris Knight in the Alfa Romeo. Alongside him will be Matt Goodyear in the Mercedes. Row 3, P5 will be Josh Diggles in the Williams. Alongside will be Ross Milburn in the Racing Point. Row 4, P7, Sean Street in the McLaren. Alongside him will be Jack Wilson in the Renault. And row 5, P9 will be the Renault of Adrian Rich. And in P10, Tony Foster for McLaren. So a little break now for the drivers to just get themselves readied up for the race. 5-minute maximum, could start beforehand. So just watch the driver names on the right-hand side there. When you start to see the ticks, that's the drivers readying up. Don't have a weather report. I don't know if you have a weather report, Guido.
I'll call on my weatherman who is always there. Let's see if he puts it on...
Well,
on the YouTube channel.
I've just asked the weatherman.
Sander, give me the weather, please. Sander. I don't know. No, but they're usually there. Maybe seen it. No, I don't know who's looking at it. And maybe Adrian has it. Mr. Stats.
Actually,
yes.
I've been talking away and I've been muted, so I don't know how long I've been muted for.
Well, that's going to be real big, quiet pieces in the stream then.
What are you saying, Guido? You saying that I talk too much?
No, I didn't say that. I said they're going to be real big pieces of quietness in the stream.
No, so for those of you that have missed my dulcet tones, I have no idea how long I was muted for. There we have a fantastic result there, obviously, from Dylan and from Phil Harris. So as I suspect they are both starting on the medium compound tyre, but I think the guys behind them, Matt Goodyear and Chris Knight, are going to be on the soft. So that's really going to mix it up. 2 very fast drivers in that row 2 as well. But it's all about, the start here, isn't it? And it's getting the lead into that turn 1. We know if Dylan can get his nose ahead, he should start to pull away. Because that's what we saw last week in Baku, and that's what we've historically seen, obviously, in Season 1 as well. But equally, Phil Harris, very, very competent driver, leading the championship at this moment in time. He could equally get his nose ahead. So it's going to be a real battle down into Turn 1, isn't there, Guido?
Yeah. Turn 1 is obviously, in every race, there's going to be situations there. And I have to say, in Season 1... there was some wicked driving going on in FOTUK in the UK division.
Yeah,
because these drivers really respect each other. But nowadays you see a little bit more competition coming in, and there's going to be a little bit more fighting. And I'm just, it's. We're going to see. Turn 1, turn 2.
Yeah.
And maybe after that, but always in the beginning, there's something going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The weather's going to be dry.
Yeah.
Thanks to Ryan.
Okay.
The weather's going to be dry.
So we are looking at a dry race, and that really is going to make it very interesting. I mean, obviously, we like a bit of rain to mix it up. But for this circuit, dry race, this is going to be a very, very fast and competitive race in dry conditions, Guido.
I have to say, if it's dry, it's always good as a driver, so you can push the car. But from a spectator's kind of view, I like it when it starts dry. It starts to rain a bit, more, and then it dries up again. Yeah. Because then you get everything, and people tend to start driving differently in the rain. It is, for me, it's really difficult to try to do that because I'm not a wet driver. But it really turns things around in the race.
Yeah, I think it takes a different skill set in the wet because you've got to be super confident in your setup in the wet, and you've got to be super confident of your capabilities as well. And I think a lot of drivers, they have the capability, but they're a little bit sort of worried or scared to commit. And that's what makes a difference, because the guys who are fast in the wet are the guys who commit. Where you wouldn't, basically. Yeah,
they'd probably train a little bit more in the wet and try it a bit more. See, it's easy to train in the dry and just put your wing up 2 notches and then say that's a wet setup. But if you got a really wet setup, if you got that, and if you know it's going to rain, and you can use that, you can really use that to your advantage and obviously come out on top then.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were touching on an earlier strategy with regards to tyres, etc. Obviously, the strategy is set by the individual driver. They don't have a full team behind them, or indeed telling them, how they're doing. They do have the AI version of that, but a lot of drivers don't necessarily get on too well with Jeff from the pit wall. But that said, it does complicate things. Also, the other thing that tends to complicate it in the game is that every time you come into the pit, irrespective of whether you're coming in for a nose change or for some sort of penalty, you automatically have a tyre change as well, don't you?
Yeah, you automatically do. And we still didn't check that. We talked about it last week, but we still didn't check that, how it is and why it is, and if it's the same in the real F1. So maybe if somebody knows that, are you obliged to change your tires in the real F1?
No, you're not obliged to change your tyres in the FIA F1 regulations. But for some known reason here in the game, it does. Don't ask me why. So you are obligated, obviously, to change your tyres. So you have to use 2 compounds of tyre. Unless, of course, it's a wet race where you might be on intermediates or full wets all the way around. But you do have to change the compounding tyre. So whatever tyre you start on, you are going to have to go onto a different tyre. So if you start on the reds, you're going to have to go onto either a medium yellow or a white hard, and vis-a-vis all the rest as well. So that does come very much into play, especially in incidents, because this is the thing, Guido. Obviously, there is going to be contact at some point between the drivers, more likely to happen in the opening laps. And when it does, you've got to come in, pit, get a new nose or whatever it is, and you're immediately going to have to go onto a different set of tyres. You can choose that set of tyres, but obviously it has a direct impact on your race, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, because your strategy that you might want or you had in mind is obviously going to change. Yeah. Because if the first stint you wanted to go for a long way, and you hit somebody in the second lap, obviously then you have to change your tires, and the strategy goes out the door. Yeah. So the drivers have readied up. They are now on the track. So let's go on board and go through our drivers. Actually, for a change, I think I'm going to go in reverse order. So bringing up the rear is the Red Bull of Callum White. He'll be starting in P19.
In P18 will be the new driver of Richard Williams in the Toro Rosso. In 17 will be Kyle Jackson for Mercedes. In 16 will be Jamie Good for Toro Rosso. Jamie has stayed in actually, so I'm not too sure whether he's going to be staying in or whether he's going to be coming out. Looks like he's staying in, so Jamie Good for Toro Rosso is currently in P16. In P15 will be Cameron Widdowson for Williams. In 14 is going to be Jake Sorrell for Racing Point, nearly making contact there with Ryan Doran on the possession lap in the Haas there. Ryan Lear in the Haas is in P13. We have got, one driver's jumped out, because we go to P11, Ryan Doran, so not too sure what's happening there. Then we have P10 is Tony Foster in the McLaren. P9 is Adrian Rich. P7 is Sean Street. P6 is Ross Milburn. P5 is Josh Diggles in the Williams. P4 is Matt Goodyear in the Mercedes. P3 is Chris Knight in the Alfa Romeo. P2, as we were saying there, is Phil Harris in the Ferrari. And P1 is Dylan Platt in the Red Bull. So drivers now coming up to the start as we get ready for the start of this F1 Tonight UK Season 2 Spanish Grand Prix. Drivers coming onto the grid now, forming up, heartbeats racing, sweaty palms as they come onto the grid in preparation, getting their 10-minute clips ready. And the lights are on, and we are off for the start of this F1 Tonight UK Spanish Grand Prix as they come tearing down. Dylan does lead the way, Phil Harris close by, but look at that, Josh Diggles up into third place, Chris Knight jumping in, he's got ahead of Phil Harris into turn one. Will he going to take two? Yes he does, look at that, he's side by side with the Ferrari there, Phil Harris. And he gets in behind him. Josh Diggles is in behind him. P4 back. Goodyear drops down to P5. Sean Street is up to P5. We've got a VSC already. VSC is out. So VSC is out, and that is the worst possible option because now they have to maintain their sector times and obviously the times between the drivers in front and behind. And this is going to be very, very, very mixed up because obviously it's the opening lap. How on earth is VSC going to actually come into play? Interesting one there. Not too sure. Obviously there was an incident back. Jack Wilson, I think, had an incident. He's dropped out back to P16 from P8.
So somebody getting a 5-second time penalty for something, for probably hitting somebody.
Adrian Rich has dropped down to last place. So I'm wondering if there may have been contact there between the Renault of Jack Wilson and Adrian Rich. So can't see any damage on that Renault, and I can't see damage yet on the Renault of Adrian Rich. The front right end plate has gone, so he will be coming into the pits. VSC is off. We are back racing. Dylan Platt tears down that start-finish straight. He's closely followed by Phil Harris and Chris Knight and Matt Goodyear, and it's so close. Look at this. Josh Diggles really coming through there. He's already challenging Matt Goodyear to come into turn one. Oh, look at this, side by side, and they come round two. Does he have the advantage? Just trying to get the advantage there. Matt Goodyear trying to stick with it. And he just gets a nose ahead of him. Look at that. But Matt Goodyear's going to come charging back, I think, into fourth probably. Trying to get on the inside of that Rocket Williams into 5 downhill now. And this is very, very close here between these guys. And this is for P4, remember. So, Phil Harris is actually on the hard compound tyre. Okay, I thought he was on the medium, so he's actually started on the hard. So, Matt Goodyear going very wide out of 9 there. Let's watch him as he comes down into turn 10. He's going to see if he can challenge. He can't, but he's got Sean Street tucked in behind him. Sean is on the mediums, as is Matt Goodyear as well. And you can see Tony Foster already gone up 3 places, up to P7. So 4 places, so it's 11, yeah. So the McLaren's there sitting in 6 and 7. Matt Goodyear is 5. Josh Diggles in their Rocket Williams is 4. Certainly was a rocket off that start. But look at that. He is right up the nose here. Look at this, right up the tail there. He's got his nose firmly wedged between those exhausts from Chris Knight there. He's definitely having a high adrenaline intake there.
Well, if you look at our new driver, Mr. Williams, Richard Williams in the Toro Rosso, he jumped up 9 places already.
Yeah, he's up to P9. And Richard is not unfamiliar with league racing. Races in the Tier 1 for IRL, so a big shout out to IRL. For great league, and some really competitive drivers there as well. So he's recently joined us, still driving, I believe, with IRL anyway, well, because obviously the drivers are not restricted as to how many leagues they compete in. So it's going to be interesting to see how this new driver, Richard Williams, does, but he's doing very well so far, up into P9. We are riding on board at the moment with Josh Diggles, who is trying to get back up to Chris Knight. He's fallen back now, 6/10. Chris Knight is just under a second behind Phil Harris. Let's go down. Yeah,
P11, and there's a big fight going on. Callum White's trying to overtake Jamie Good. Yeah, he's been fighting. Obviously, he's got faster tires. They're a bit slidey. The both cars in front there are a bit slidey.
Yeah, they're the Toro Rossos.
Overtaking me on the long straight.
Yeah, the Toro Rossos there are Jamie Good. He has, but look at this, because the Toro Rosso is making, Jamie Good's looking to make a move on his teammate. Oh, and he does, gets ahead of Richard. Oh, contact there, contact with Callum White there on the back right of Richard.
Let's see if they got damage. He doesn't seem to have damage. The wing end plate's still intact, so that's good.
Jamie Good really pushing his new teammate there. Got to say, Richard Williams under pressure from his teammate Jamie Good, but equally Jamie's under pressure from Callum White in the Red Bull, tucked in right in behind him.
Oh, and he almost loses it. Callum White almost loses it.
Round 9 now. He's got the DRS. I don't think he's got enough space there to come back at them. Sorry, just watching here, and Josh Diggles has actually got ahead of Chris Knight. So Josh Diggles, round 12, got ahead of Chris Knight. And Chris Knight looking to try and fight back, but now he's got Matt Goodyear firmly positioned on his posterior, so to speak. He's only 2 tenths off the back of him. Surely he's going to challenge in that DRS, and he's trying to break the toe there, Chris Knight. But Matt Goodyear sticks with him. He's got the DRS. Is he going to try and see if he can make it stick into turn 1? Tries to get on the inside, but Chris Knight making that Alfa Romeo as wide as he possibly can, preventing Matt from taking that.
No, yellow flag. 4.
Yeah, yellow flag in sector 1. Can't see anybody out.
Spin.
It's Jamie Good.
Spun with the Haas.
Ryan Doran, or was it Jamie Good? Not too sure there.
Ryan Doran, P11.
Okay, so Dylan leads the way, but look at this. He's already 5.3 seconds ahead of Phil Harris, but this is an advantage though, because Phil has got the hard compound tyre. Pit stop here in Catalunya, I would suspect, is probably going to be relatively quick, probably around about 18 seconds.
18 seconds,
yeah. I would think 18 seconds. So Phil does have the jump on Dylan at the moment, because he is on the hard compound tyre. Will allow him to go a bit deeper. So let's keep an eye on that. What are your sort of thoughts on the longevity of these tyres, Guido? I mean, Dylan, 4 laps. He's probably actually done, in reality, 7 laps on those. I would be looking probably sort of high 20s, low 30s.
Yeah, well, 30s would be pushing it, I think. I don't know. You know, we're talking about Dylan here again. Yeah. So we're talking about that every time, every race. I just cannot predict how he uses his tires.
Yeah,
because he really gets gets the best out of him.
He does get the best out of him, but obviously we saw that he had the punch. I think it was Australia, which ruined the race for him. I think he's got that in the back of his mind. He is 6.2 seconds now ahead of Phil Harris in second place. Josh Diggles is rapidly reeling in Phil Harris though on the medium compound tyre, Phil on the hard compound tyre, so we do expect him to be that bit slower, but it looks to me as if Josh Diggles is going to close down with him before the end of this lap, and he's probably going to be challenging him on lap 7 into turn 1.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. The first 6 drivers, they're pretty close.
Well, Chris Knight's only 1.1 seconds off the back of Josh Diggles. Matt Goodyear 0.6 off the back of Chris Knight. And Sean Street and Tony Foster about 1.5 seconds behind this pack. But as you quite rightly say, Guido, very, very close. Very, very close. So Josh Diggles 0.7 off the back of Phil Harris as they come round the turn 16 into lap 7. I do expect Josh to try and see if he can challenge down into this turn 1. He's got the DRS, but I don't think he's closing in enough, is he? No, he's not.
No.
Can't quite close it down. He's got it down to 0.3, but not quite enough. Chris Knight now 1.2 seconds off the back of Josh Diggles. Matt Goodyear only 0.4 off the back of Chris Knight. Chris Knight not having the start to this race that he wanted. I mean, he's maintaining that P4, but he's already been taken. That P3 position has been taken from him by Josh Diggles. It looks like Matt Goodyear is very likely to be challenging him very soon as well.
Yeah, Josh Diggles is knocking at the door of Phil Harris there. He just obviously he's got faster tyres. I have to look at that. Yeah, I think he's got the yellow tyres.
He's got the yellow compound tyres and Phil's on the hard compounds.
Harder compound. I was looking at the back, P14. Kyle Jackson is making a move on Adrian Rich.
Yeah, the Mercedes Kyle Jackson there as they're coming round. I think that's turn 2, 3.
I think Adrian was behind him on the long straight, overtook him, and now obviously Kyle has the speed left to try and make a move back.
And you can have a look here. You can see, if you look at the yellow bar on the steering wheel, that's your ERS. So that's how much he's got in the tank effectively. You look at Adrian Rich running a little bit more there. Depends on the car as to where that meter is, but that's generally where you'll see it. They're pretty much equal actually, so they are managing their ERS quite nicely there. Both on the medium compound tyre, and as you say, Kyle Jackson obviously had the move made in by Adrian Rich in the Renault on that start-finish straight. Going to be looking to try and come back, and he's certainly within time. I mean, he could do with getting a little bit closer. He wants to be about 0.4 off the back of that Renault as they go over the start-finish line.
Yeah.
Oh, and he goes, he loses it! He's lost it! Round 16, he's in the middle of the track there. And the drivers is coming round. They've got to go really wide to avoid him. But Kyle Jackson for Mercedes is out of this race. Lost it round turn 16, trying to come back to Adrian Rich. Put it in the wall.
Ooh.
So first DNF of this evening. Safety car is out, unsurprisingly. So Dylan Platt coming round the start-finish straight. I'm not too sure if his car's been cleared. No, it is still there. So the drivers are going to have to watch out for that. Hopefully Dylan should catch up with it. I think probably he should catch up to it probably around about turn 4.
He's gone.
So turn 4, I'd expect Dylan to come across that. That's Jake Sorrell. He's running in P17 at the back there. No, just go, Jake, just go. You can overtake the safety car, not a problem. Dylan Platt waiting to catch up with the safety car now as he's coming around turn 3. There we are. There is the safety car.
Josh Diggles overtook Phil Harris on that moment while we were checking out Adrian and...
Yes, he has. Yeah, he has.
So he's got that P2 position.
So Josh Diggles in the Williams is now in that P2 position. Dylan Platt has caught up with the safety car. That means the safety car will be coming in.
Disqualified.
Who's disqualified?
Jake Sorrell.
No, I've still got him racing. We'll come back to that in a minute and cover that. So we've met the safety car on lap 9. It should come in end of lap 11. So end of lap 11, we should see the safety car coming in. Now this means that obviously they're going to bunch up now. So it's going to be a rolling start or restart to this race, which always makes it, and I've got to say, this is what, in my opinion, in obviously the F1E motorsports, but very much so in the real world F1, I'm not a lover of the VSC. No, I do understand the reasoning behind it, but I've got to say there's nothing better than a safety car restart.
Well, since the last update we got from Codemasters, obviously in the game, we started to get a lot more safety cars, and I have to say, rightfully so, because it makes it just a bit more realistic. Because when you have a car parked on the straight, in the beginning of the straight, there will be a safety car, because it's going to be dangerous, and people have to slow down.
Yeah.
But the element of the safety car brings something extra. It brings the field back together. It makes the back markers go back in, and closes it down. So it makes it that much more exciting. Yeah,
no, I totally agree with you on that. I've got to say though, I think the man here that's probably going to be having a more worried look on his face is Phil Harris in that Ferrari, because Phil is on those hard compound tyres. He's doing 3 laps under the safety car effectively. Those tyres are not going to be really up to heated sufficiently on the start of this race. He's going to have some real problems, and he's going to come under a lot of pressure from those drivers behind him, such as Chris Knight, Matt Goodyear and Sean Street.
Yeah, you really have to swerve and keep the temperature in the tires, because otherwise, if the safety car starts and in corner 1, you might just overshoot the corner and overshoot the apex and don't get it, the harder compound takes a lot longer to warm up. So you really got to work that car.
Yeah, a 5-second penalty for Callum White.
Limits.
Yeah,
we're in a safety car situation.
Well, he probably cut a corner unknowingly, but again, it's easy to do though, because the guys are trying to keep the heat in those tyres. They're having to watch the cars in front of them. They're all bunched up. You don't want to go into the guy in front of you, and if he suddenly brakes or swerves in front of you and you're not ready for it, I suspect that's probably what happened. But the game is not take these things into account. So, the safety car is actually in on this lap, so it's the end of lap 10. So Dylan is backing the pack up now. That was a bit unexpected, actually. I would have expected to come in normally at the end of lap 11, but look at this. The pack really backed up here now as Dylan gets ready for the restart. Let's go on board with Josh Diggles, and I suspect he's going to go. And look at that, Josh already getting in preparation right up the exhaust pipe of Dylan Platt there. There goes Dylan now. He's pulling away.
Josh has got a great start.
And they're off, and he's got a great start on him. He's not going to have DRS, remember, but look at this. He's right up his tail there as they're coming down into turn 1. Side by side. Is Josh Diggles going to get ahead? Is Dylan Platt going to keep him off? Look at this. He's got the inside line into 2. Josh Diggles moves into 1 momentarily, but Dylan Platt comes back as they're winding up round 3. And look at the grip. You can see Phil Harris as well closing in on the back of Josh Diggles, but Chris Knight in there, Matt Goodyear as well. And these guys really, really close and personal now on this restart.
Yeah, they had a little bit of contact there. That was wheel banging.
Wow, what a restart that was. Dylan did time that very well, even though he had Josh right up there. Josh looked as if he's going to get his nose in front in 1 and 2. But oh no, Chris Knight goes wrong, foots it. Matt Goodyear gets ahead of him. He's coming up round 7. Matt Goodyear gets ahead of Chris Knight now. Chris Knight comes back. They're side by side, they're coming down 10. Chris leads the way. Oh, beautifully done, sir. Well done. Comes back at Matt Goodyear, who had taken a P4 position for him. Oh, look at this. And the cars here nose to tail as they're coming down towards the end of this lap 11. But Ross Milburn, sorry, just got to quickly cut to Ross Milburn there. Closing in, Richard Williams, I do apologise, closing in on his teammate Jamie Good as well there. Sean Street, Matt Goodyear really close there. Chris Knight 5/10 off the back. Phil Harris already 1.1 seconds behind Josh Diggles, and Josh Diggles just under a second behind Dylan Platt. Josh Diggles is really going for it here, isn't he, the Williams driver?
Yeah, But I'm looking a bit further down the pack. It's Jack Wilson again, making an attack on Ryan Lear. He's going a bit wide. See, and that's what I mean. When you get a safety car, it just brings a lot of...
Oh, sorry. Ross Milburn going right off track, coming back there very dangerously, I've got to say. Rejoins the track and gets right in the way of the Haas there. I think it was Jack Wilson or Ryan Lear made contact with him. He's actually lost a bit of his front... I think that's Ryan Doran actually made contact. Looks like he's lost a bit of his front wing there. Well. Trying to see if I can see it. Yes, he's lost. No, he hasn't. No, he's okay. So real fight going on there between Ryan Lear coming in behind Ryan Doran and Jack Williams, sorry. Jack Williams. What am I saying?
Doesn't matter.
Jack Wilson in the Renault. Real ding-dong going on there between the Haas and the Renault. But Ryan Doran now coming back. Let's get quickly back with our front runners. Dylan Platt leads the way, 1.3 seconds. He is opening out that gap to Josh Diggles. Equally, Josh Diggles opening out that gap to Phil Harris. Remember, as I said, Phil is on those hard compound tyres. I've got to say, I think he's done pretty well to keep Chris Knight off the back of him. He's...
Oh, Adrian's gone wide. Oh,
Adrian Rich, he spun it out at turn 7.
Corner. That's the second corner, what's very dangerous. He keeps the car, though.
Yeah.
He keeps it on the track.
Well done there.
He was in a fight with Richard
Good
Williams.
recovery.
He was a bit on the outside and probably lost it there, but a little bit on the curve.
That was on the exit of 2 into 3. I actually thought that was turn 7. That was at the exit of turn 2 into 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So he's done well to maintain that. He's got no damage there. Equally, good job from Jake Sorrell and Cameron Widdowson to avoid contact with him there. So we get back onto the race. Adrian is back on the track. Jamie Good is currently in P7. Sean Street is 6. Matt Goodyear 5/10 off the back of Chris Knight. Chris Knight 1.4 seconds off the back of Phil Harris. But Matt Goodyear, we've seen this fight between these two guys going on for quite a while now. And
yeah, he's on attack mode again. He's going to get DRS because he's close enough. Dylan Platt sets his fastest time, 1:22.942. And here we go.
Yep, side by side coming down turn 1.
Very easily.
Yeah, but how easy is it going to be? Because Chris Knight is going to let him go easily. Look at that, Chris Knight fighting back, keeping his line. Fantastic racing there.
Great defending there.
Great work from the Alfa Romeo driver, Chris Knight. Got to say, that was really good. I mean, you could see that Mercedes was faster coming down to turn 1, but he didn't give it up. Maintained his line, defended it well, kept his position. Good move there from Chris Knight. So he's defending well. Phil Harris is still in the game though. 13 laps to go. Question now, I mean, Josh Diggles has really pushed those mediums very, very hard indeed. Dylan Platt, not so much so. So I suspect that Josh Diggles is likely to pit before Dylan Platt. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Guido.
I just, you know, it's so difficult to say. The way that Dylan drives, and no, I cannot predict what's going to happen there with the changing of the tires.
Well, I'm going to go with it. I'm pretty sure that Josh Diggles is going to have to come in before Dylan Platt. He's going to try and hold out for as long as he can, and he's probably going to try and mimic what Dylan does. But I suspect that he's very likely to come in before, because he has really been pushing those tyres very, very hard as he's fought his way through the pack there to get up into that P2 position.
Yeah, obviously when you start fighting, you lose quite a lot of your tyres. So you're probably right. And Dylan has the free air simply from the beginning, so he has free time to drive and no fights to where his tyres catch any wear.
Yeah. Phil Harris is actually closing down slightly on Josh Diggles, so that's interesting. Those hard compound tyres, obviously 14 laps in, they're starting to, he's got good heat into them now, obviously, and they're getting to that point where they actually get pretty fast round about their sort of midlife. So I would suspect that he could probably go mid-30s on these tyres. That said, if he's going to be coming into lap, he's still going to have 30 laps to go. I'm wondering if he's going to go for a medium with the option of maybe having to go onto a soft if required to close the race.
Would be a good call.
Yeah, I suspect he's going to go hard medium with a possibility of a soft depending when he comes in off those hards.
I think that's a good strategy. Hard medium.
Equally, I suspect that Josh Diggles and Dylan Platt are going the opposite way, medium hard. We know that Dylan is fast on those hard compound tyres with the lighter weight, because obviously remember the weight is accounted for in the game. So as they burn off the fuel, the car will get lighter. That then does give you the ability to go a bit deeper and longer with your next set of tyres. And we know that Dylan's got the pace certainly in those hard compound tyres. So I suspect that both him and Josh Diggles are going to be looking to go onto the hard compound tyre.
Hard, yeah, medium, hard and soft.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much going to be the way for the rest of these guys. Now the question is how deep can they go on those mediums? We did see Tony Foster was on the red wall tyres before the safety car. He did come in, went onto a set of hard tyres. So he's 5 laps on those hard tyres. Also Ryan Lear came in and went onto the hards, as did Callum White. And Callum White this season, he was with Mercedes last season and teamed up with Tom Stevens, absolutely dominating the season. But Callum doesn't seem to have got it together this season so far, has he?
Sometimes it does like that. It just works like that. You get the feeling, and and then you have to say, if you're in the car, Jack Wilson's gone a little bit wide. If you're in the car, in the cockpit view, it just tends to feel a bit different. The sound of the engine is different. The feel of the car is slightly different. It's maybe that comes into play.
So are we saying? I mean, has Callum gone into cockpit view during racing as opposed to the overhead view then in season 1? Do you think?
I don't know, but if you change cars during the season, because all the drivers
change the actual car.
Cars,
that's right. Yeah.
And they just look a little bit the same. They sound different because somebody obviously you have different engines, and it definitely is
it's
different.
also listening to the engine, isn't it, to know when to change gear.
It is.
I mean, you got the indicators obviously on the dash to tell you, but very often than not, you're listening to the sound of the engine.
Listening. Yeah, you're not looking at you're not looking at your steering wheel, and let me tell you, a Honda sounds different than a Renault. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, it does very much so. Okay, we are on lap 18 of 66. We're about we're approaching a third of the way through this race. This is F1 Tonight UK. We are here, season 2, round 5, the Spanish Grand Prix here at the circuit, the Barcelona, Catalunya in sunny Spain, and it is a sunny day here on the track. Dry race. We've seen one very dramatic DNF, I've got to say, from Carl Jackson in the Mercedes. Lost it out of turn 16, panned it into the wall of the pit entry, was right across the track. That started off the safety car. We then had a restart, and Phil Harris was in second place. He came off a few laps in, a little bit worse off. Josh Diggles got ahead of him. Josh Diggles really coming through the field. Actually, I just want to check the details on that. I can't remember the exact position change. Josh Diggles up 3 places. Yeah, he was in P5, so up 3 places. Dylan Platt maintains his. Phil Harris drops down 1, started in 2. Chris Knight drops down 1 from 3. And Matt Goodyear drops down 1 from 4. Up 1 is Sean Street from 7. Up 8 is Jamie Good from 16. And his teammate, the new driver, the rookie driver, Richard Williams for F1 Tonight UK. So Richard Williams, debut race, lap 20, he's just about to go into. He's done pretty well for himself, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm looking at him now. He's full on attack mode. He's hanging out, or he's on the slower tire, but he gets in there, and well, look, he's on P10 now. He started
P18.
So he's on 8 places.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's doing well. He's doing well.
He's doing really well. It's his rookie race, And I hope to see a lot more of him next week.
Sorry, yellow flag sector 1, but that looks okay.
No, it's Ryan Doran. He's spun.
So Ryan Doran in the Haas. The curse of the Haas. I've got to say, in the drivers' lounge, the drivers do talk quite a lot about the curse of the Haas.
The curse of the Haas, yeah.
It just, but what is it? I mean, you know, in the real world, obviously they haven't had a great time.
Seat. It's just Grosjean's seat. You don't want to be in Grosjean's car.
Nothing personal, Roman. By the way, nothing personal, Roman.
Romain Grosjean.
Yeah, wonderful, indeed. He doesn't quite speak like that, though. I've got to say, he's got a very, very dulcet French accent. I think he ought to dial it up a bit. But yeah, I mean, you know, the curse of the Haas. But do you know what I think a lot of it's got to do? Is we were touching on it a little bit earlier. Is the sound of the car. Yeah. The Haas, out of all the cars, for some unknown reason, it's
a mover.
Yeah, it just doesn't say. You just don't seem to get the feel, the sound from it, and you know, you may think, well, what the hell's that going to do? Well, we were talking about that about 5 minutes ago. It can make a difference, enough of a difference. Let's put it like that. I mean, we are talking tenths here, as in the real world. You know, these drivers are still separated by, you know, fractions of a second. If you look at this, I mean, 2.0 seconds is Matt Goodyear off the back of Josh Diggles. 2 seconds is nothing, but in race terms, it's a hell of a lot. 6 tenths, Josh Diggles off the back of Phil Harris. He is definitely closing in on him again, and yeah, this is looking quite. This is looking interesting because Josh Diggles is closing down that gap, but I'm just wondering how much deeper he's going to be able to go. I mean, he should go. He's probably done 24. He should go at least another 5 laps, I reckon, on those mediums.
Well, let's see what that's going to be.
Sorry, I just realised something which we've missed, Guido. Josh Diggles is in P3. So Phil Harris has actually taken the place back from it. I have no idea. Just looked at it, I was just like, hang on a minute.
Could it be that you're talking?
I've got Phil Harris in P2. Yeah, possibly. I've got Phil Harris in P2, but that changed very quickly. I didn't even see a move on the track. But Phil Harris is back into P2. Josh Diggles is P3, and 6 tenths off the back of him. So I'm wondering if Josh made some error around sector 3, probably around turn 12, I would suspect. So that's the tricky one. And Phil sort of cashed in on it and got the place back. So Phil Harris back up into that P2 position. That's a real accomplishment, bearing in mind he's on those hard compound tyres. But he was closing down to Josh Diggles, wasn't he? We could see that was happening before we were making the comments.
Happening. Oh, another yellow flag. Oh, that's...
Yeah, sector 2.
Jamie Good spun the car.
Yeah, he has indeed. He's gone off the track. That was out of turn 4. He's looking to try and see if he can return safely back onto the track. He has done.
Oh, and he keeps spinning now because he's got dirty tyres. And that's really dangerous. That sector is really dangerous if you get dirty tyres. Don't push it that much because your car's going to slide. You're going to lose it. And
especially coming uphill here. Watch him here. He's got to be careful. And round 9, he's still got to watch it round turn 9. He's got Adrian Rich in the Renault closing in on the back of him. So I'm sure he's more than aware of that. And Adrian Rich can now see Jamie Good ahead of him. Jamie now into turn 10. He's got to watch it around here. Take it easy.
Jamie Good's going to let him go because he's got damage on the left side, left front of the wing.
Yeah, he has. He's lost the front left end plane. It looks like a few of the winglets. He could well be coming in to actually get that done.
He's got trouble. He's got difficulty coming around the corner. So he's got no grip. He's probably going in. Yeah,
he is. He's coming in. That's discretion is the better part of honour in that instance. So Jamie Good coming into the pits. That will release Adrian Rich into P10.
That's a free spot.
Yeah, absolutely. The new driver there, Richard Williams, he's in P9. Jack Wilson for Renault is 8. Ross Milburn for Racing Point is 7. Sean Street for McLaren is 6. 5 is Chris Knight for Alfa Romeo. 4 is Matt Goodyear for Mercedes. 3 is Phil Harris because Josh Diggles again has taken the place back from him. Why are we missing this? Guido.
There's a lot. No, there's just a lot.
There's a lot going on.
And we want to see everything, but we just can't.
Yeah. Well, we need a full film crew really to actually get this game properly. But anyway, so Josh Diggles has taken that P2 place back from Phil Harris. moved back into P2 and is looking to pull away, but Phil Harris is looking to come back at him as they come down the start-finish straight. A bit too much of a gap there at this moment in time, but Phil Harris isn't going to let it go, and this is not helping either one of them in a way for the longevity of their tyres, because obviously a lot more pressure to the tyres, and when you're close in behind, you know, you've got that dirty air coming off, that really does wear the tyre down and start to bite into your grip.
Dirty air.
Dirty air, sir.
Dirty air. We got a P7, we got Ross Milburn making an attack on Sean Street, obviously in the Sector 2, going into Sector 2 now. I think it's not so not a real convenient place to overtake.
Oh, Phil Harris looks like sliding a bit round 9 there. That's what it looked like. But he's definitely closing down on Josh Diggles here. He's going to go for the move again down that start-finish straight. Let's see if Josh makes any errors around here. Rides that turn 11 curve very hard. I've got to say, I wouldn't normally do that, because when you ride it that hard, it's very easy to go lose your grip on the when you rejoin the track. It's quite dangerous there, but anyway, he's going for it. Phil Harris looking to try and come back at him. He will do down this, and this has got a good gap. It's only 4/10. He's definitely going to get alongside him with that DRS. Josh Diggles trying to go defensive. Let's watch them now as they're coming down into turn 1. Oh, look at this. Look at this. And Josh Diggles doing a Chris Knight. Oh, Phil Harris, as Chris Knight did to him earlier, really holding that line, defending it well. But Phil Harris is going to look to try and come back. Do you think he's going to have a go, dive into 4 here? Oh, he's looking for it. He is looking for it. Maybe he's going to try and see if he can get in round 6. As they come down round 5 now into 6.
Coming close.
Oh, very close indeed. Coming up round 7 now. He's got the second bite of the cherry, remember, as they come around turn 9. Let's see if he's going to go for it.
Yeah, he's got the DRS now. He's opening it up, but the straight is not long enough, I think.
No, it isn't. You've got to be about a couple of tenths off the guy in front of you to really take full advantage.
If you put it in that gap.
Let's watch Josh again ride that turn. He really rides that 11 very hard. I think that may have been what caused the issue for the first time Phil Harris took that place. Well, we've got a yellow flag, sector 2, 3.
Ross Milburn made it, yeah, spun.
Okay.
And let me see, there was around.
That was, I'll tell you where that was. That was on the exit of turn 8, I bet you. Look at this, Phil Harris coming back at him, this side by side. Coming down turn 1, Phil Harris gets his nose in front. And he gets P2 back. So, Phil Harris gets that P2 back. And now Josh Diggles is going to have to fight back at him. Well done, sir. And that's what we're seeing. These guys are just toing and throwing at the moment. And in the meantime, Dylan Platt has got an 11-second lead on Phil Harris.
I was just going to say, he's got a cigarette in his mouth and one hand on the steering wheel. and his elbow out.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't think Dylan smokes.
Sorry.
But he might vape, I don't know. But it's probably better to vape, actually, because you don't have to worry about the lighter then.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Do they have a cup holder? Well, no, now we're being silly.
Yeah, he probably does.
Being silly.
But, well, you've got to have your fluids. Even the F1 drivers have got access to fluids during the race, haven't they? So,
yeah. Just press a button and it comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on there? Jake Sorrell, P13. Yes.
Yeah, very close here. To have a look at these back markers here.
Red Bull.
If you could keep an eye on Josh Diggles and Phil Harris for me, I'll just have a look at these back markers here, Guido. So we're riding at the moment with
Josh Diggles making an attack again. And look
at this! Side by side, wheel banging there! Definite wheel banging, but they're okay. No damage to front wings done. This is a real battle royale at the moment between Josh Diggles and Phil Harris, isn't it, Guido?
I have to say, simply lovely.
Lovely. Oh, Phil Harris nearly losing it out of 4 there as he went onto the rough. And look at this though, Josh Diggles. Look at that. Right up his posterior.
There's a lot of battling going on because See Chris, it's Jake Sorrell's all closing in. Matt Goodyear is making an attack on Jack Wilson again.
Let's have a look. Matt Goodyear. Yeah, he's looking to try and close down 4/10 off the back of him at this moment in time. Matt obviously looking to try and regain his position. Jack Wilson, I'd say somewhat out of position, but then again he's on the hard compound tyres, so he's gone almost the full distance. He had that incident in the opening lap, came in.
And Jamie Good spun.
Yeah, Josh Diggles is into the pits.
And it's again, it's
Josh Diggles.
Turn 2.
Yeah, Josh Diggles is into the pits, Guido. Just wanted to say, as I thought, he has come in earlier than Dylan Platt, so he has come in. Now I want to see what he's actually going to go on to. Ryan Lear picking up a 3-second time penalty. By the way, the time penalties that apply to the drivers, that's for exceeding track limits. He's going on to a hard compound tyre again. Oh, sorry, was he on the hard? No, he was on the medium, so he has gone medium hard, so he's going medium hard. He's got, well, 39 laps remaining. I think it's a big ask on those hard compound tyres, but let's see what we can do. So Josh Diggles, first man in on the main pit stops, goes onto the hard compound tyre. Phil Harris, in the meantime.
Oh, turn 2 again, man. Goodyear. It's that turn 2 that is really treacherous.
Yeah. Not having fun with that at this moment in time. In the meantime, Phil Harris in P2, he's 13.5 seconds behind Dylan Platt. He's got 26 laps on those hard compound tyres, but Dylan Platt still out there. Is he going to come in off those mediums? No, he stays out, so he's going to start lap 27. Now, this, to me, Guido, looks as if Dylan is looking to go as deep as he possibly can on those medium compound tyres, because he wants to finish on those hards.
P13. A fight going on. He is.
Ryan Lear loses the place to Jake Sorrell. Jake Sorrell in the racing point gets ahead of him. So Ryan Lear drops to 13. Jake Sorrell back up and into P12.
Yes, and as you say, Dylan is really going to push it again. He's going to take the tires.
Who's that into the pits? So Chris Knight into the pits. Sean Street, Chris Knight going on to a fresh set of mediums, and Sean Street going on to the hard compound tyres. So that's what we're seeing. The guys who are on the hards are going on to the mediums, and the guys who are on the mediums are going on to the hard compound tyres. In the pits as well, Sean Street, as I said, he's coming out now. He's going to be on the hard compound tyre. Dylan Platt still out on track on those mediums, and at this moment in time, he's the man with the longest run on those, 27 laps. Adrian Rich has done 26 laps on his set, but yeah, I really think Dylan's going to try and see if he can get into those early mid-30s, if at all, on those medium tyres, because if he can, it could just be a one-stop for him.
Yeah, I just saw a great move by Jake Sorrell. He defended quite nicely on the attack of Ryan Lear.
Yeah, Ryan Lear obviously looking to try and get that place back. Oh, look at this. He's closing the door on Ryan. They're coming round turn 4 into 5 now. Jake Sorrell just not confident around that turn 5 and 6, is he? Let's watch him into 7, 8. A little bit more confident there, using the full width of the track. Ryan Lear looking to try and come back at him as they're coming down into 10.
Ryan Lear has a slower tyre.
Yeah, he does. He is on the hard compound tyre. So I think keep an eye on that, see what happens there.
Yeah.
But Chris Knight is only 3/10 off the back of Jack Wilson. So Jack Wilson, remember, he's out there. You know, well, no disrespect to Jack, he's somewhat out of place, obviously, because we've had the guys pitting and he's on the hard compound tyre, so he's staying out longer. But I think it's only a question of time before Chris gets past him. He's on a nice fresh set of medium compound tyres, and unfortunately Jack is, well, not unfortunately, he's doing well there. He's up into P3, he's on the hard compound tyre, so I think it's just a question of time before Chris Knight gets past him.
Yeah, just line it up, and then because he's close enough, line it up to the long straight, and then
he's going to try and make the move into 10. Does make it stick. And he saw, but he saw the window of opportunity there, Chris, didn't he? Let's be fair.
Yeah, it was a good one. And
it was a good move.
I think there was a little bit of respect out of Jack Wilson there, because he knew, probably knows he got a slower tire that is worn down.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dylan Platt has come in. He's gone onto the hard compound tyres, as I expected. I think he would have liked to have gone a little bit deeper. He's got 36 laps to do on those hard compound tyres, but he did 29 laps on the medium, so it is more than doable, isn't it?
Yeah, Phil has to come in.
Well,
he still has to come in. So
still, Phil at the moment is 4.8 seconds. Well, now 4.7 seconds ahead of Dylan.
But probably he avoids a fight with that, so that keeps his tire in better shape. So, yeah. Yeah,
but what are you going to do if you're Phil Harris? You're on the hard compound tyre. You're obviously going to be pitting. You want to go onto the mediums. You've got 36 laps remaining. He has to stretch out these hard compound tyres, so he's really got to try and it's damage limitation here. He's got Dylan Platt closing in on him, 4.5 seconds off the back of him. He has just basically got to try and open all the stops to try and sort of hold back Dylan, and then once Dylan's behind him, he's got to try and hold him off.
Here's the thing, we don't know what he's feeling. We don't know how those tires feel right now. And if he's still confident, he can go on. But he's been fighting, and it's I think his tires are going to be. Oh, Ross Milburn is spun again. No, I think his tires are a little bit more shot than we really think.
Well, I don't know. I'm just going on board with Phil now, just to sort of get an idea of what his grip levels are. Fortunately, the camera has reverted to a lovely overhead aerial shot there, so it gives us a good idea of how it's running. And I've got to say, he's looking smooth.
It's looking good, yeah.
He is looking smooth. I mean, and that is the real judge here. I mean, we've spoken before, and very often, I know when I was commentating with Adrian, we used to discuss it, is the rhythm of a track. Because every track has a rhythm to it, doesn't it?
The track and the rhythm, yeah, it does.
And if you can get into that rhythm, it makes such a difference. It really does.
Yeah, but what keeps you coming from that rhythm is the safety cars, the VSCs, the fighting, and obviously
and
when
the back markers as well. If you're in the lead.
We haven't seen them yet.
Not yet.
But
we will.
Dylan has been driving up front by himself, doing his own thing, and you can get a rhythm. Yeah. And if you're on your own, you can create a rhythm. Obviously, driving will tend to get you in a certain feel about the track. But when you're fighting, you have to go off that feel, because you have to do something different that you really want to do.
Sorry, I just want to cut to Josh Diggles. He's coming down on Chris Knight. They're coming down into turn one. Gets ahead of him. Of Jack Wilson, sorry, not Chris Knight. So Josh Diggles takes that P4 back from Jack Wilson, both on the hard compound tyre, but obviously Josh on the fresher hard compound tyre. Jack Wilson, his tyre's 29 laps old, but he's still trying to stay with him if he can. But I think Josh is pretty much still that. So Josh Diggles getting ahead of Jack Wilson, going up into P4. Chris Knight's still in P3. Dylan Platt, though, he is really eating into Phil Harris's lead there, isn't he? It's 2.4 seconds. I mean, at this rate, he's going to be, well, this time next lap, he's going to be looking to make the move out of turn 16 on the start. And is he coming in? And Phil Harris, is that? No, who was that? Oh, no. That was one of the back markers, sorry. Yeah, that was the Williams there.
Yeah, Dylan Platt's fastest lap, 1:21.686.
That was Cameron Widdowson getting out of the way of Dylan Platt there.
That's good.
So Dylan Platt closing in again. He's now under 2 seconds off the back of Phil Harris. Guido, if you were in Phil's position there, you've got hard compound tyres, 32 laps. You've got 33 laps remaining of this race.
Yeah.
You've got the second place and former race leader closing in on you. What do? Do you try and hold him off, or do you come in, get into the pits as quick as you can, because he's going to be going onto a faster set of medium tyres? Now's the time to do it.
Damage control. If you're losing time, I would definitely come in and then take my chance at the second or third place even.
Yeah.
Because no matter how you cut it, you're going to be overtaken because your tires are
he's
shot.
looking good. He's going to come out in P2, whichever way, because Chris Knight is 21 seconds behind Dylan Platt. Yeah. So, I mean, Phil Harris will be coming out in P2 unless something untoward happens in the meantime. Well, I've got to say, if I was Phil, I'd be coming in now. I wouldn't be staying out, but he's staying out. I don't get why he's staying out.
Yeah, I totally agree. I would go come in. I would do some damage control there because
Dylan's now approaching him. Phil trying to go defensive into turn 1, getting himself lined up, ready into turn 2. Closes the door, but Dylan trying to come and get in there. Oh, so close. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my goodness me. As they're coming into turn 4, Dylan's going to try and see if he can get the inside on him. Can he do it? Oh my goodness, coming down into turn 5. And Phil Harris is giving no quarter there, is he, Guido? He really is not.
No. And I have to say, if I was Dylan, I would probably stay behind him.
Yeah, I've got to say, I would agree with that. I'd just back off and let him do his thing.
Because he has to pit.
Yeah, he has to pit, and you don't want to jeopardise your race by basically damaging your tyres, which is what you're going to be doing by sitting in that dirty air.
And the risk of hitting each other. Because
contact.
Phil's got a little bit more, has got a little less control than Dylan has at this moment with these tyres.
Yeah,
I could imagine.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you on that one. I think Dylan is pretty much doing that. He's holding off. But this is not going to help Phil Harris because Chris Knight is going to be closing in on them even more. He's got 21 seconds. 80%. He's making a move.
Oh, on the inside. That's a nice move on the inside.
Couldn't get it on the camera angle, unfortunately. That's a bit annoying.
But safety car.
BSC.
For what?
BSC is out. Oh, it's Cameron Widdowson. Cameron Widdowson is out. Cameron Widdowson has DNF'd, and I don't know where that was. Let's see if we can try and have a look on the track map. Yeah, it is ahead of us. Let's have a look. Jack Wilson.
As you see, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, we got a VSC. Well, I have to say,
it was out of turn 8. Out of turn 8, that's where he lost it. Out of turn 8, coming up to 9, so that's where he lost traction. Obviously went off the track, so Cameron Widdowson DNFs, and that's for Rocket Williams. So that was it for Rocket Williams? Yeah, it was. Yeah, only leaves Josh Diggles now. But okay, now DSC is off. We are obviously back racing, and Dylan Platt is now ahead of Phil Harris as we expected. What is Phil Harris going to do? He's going to have to come in. He's staying out again, and he's got Chris Knight now 20 seconds behind him. What is he thinking? What is he thinking?
I have no idea. We might ask him after the race.
Yeah, I think that will be in the Discord chat. I've got to say, because he is now not only is he's jeopardising that P2 position because Chris Knight closing in. The gap now is only 20.4 seconds. So it's. I've got to say, I'm trying to see the logic of that. I mean, he's trying to go deeper. Obviously, this now only leaves him 30 laps on those medium compound tyres. I can see where he's going, but I've got to say, I think he's going about it the wrong way because Dylan is going to be pulling away from him. He's already 1.1 seconds ahead. By the time he pits, that's probably going to be around about the same gap that Chris Knight is to Phil Harris now. And I think Phil has to pit now. Surely, Guido.
I'm not going to give you a prediction there because I would have pitted already.
Yeah, I've got to say.
I don't know what, then again, if he feels in control and he looks in contrul, so
he is, but he may be in control, but he's losing time. He's staying out again. He's still staying out. I mean, I understand fully what you're saying. He's got control. He feels comfortable. That's fine. But you're losing time. You've now got the guy behind you. He's closing in on you. He's now 20, just over 20 seconds behind you. Pit window here, we're not sure on, but it's probably going to be around about 18 seconds. You don't want that. really. And he's well within the window now for those medium compound tyres.
Just to go on a limb here, is Phil maybe gambling that Chris is going to come in again?
Got a VSC. Ross Milburn has gone out.
Ross Milburn's gone out, yeah.
Ross Milburn has gone out. And that was on... there he is there. He's on the left-hand side. He's obviously lost out at 9, gone into the barrier. And he's parked up on the left-hand side. So VSC is out. That'll be relatively quick once obviously the car is cleared. Just trying to see, it has now been cleared. Let's see if we can go on board with Ryan Doran. Yeah, it has been cleared.
Could it be that Phil is gambling that Chris is going to come in again? And is not, because Chris is not going to finish it on this one? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, Chris is on 9 lap old mediums. He's still got 29 laps to go. I can't see him going all the distance on those mediums. He is going to have to pit again, I suspect. Well, definitely going to pit again.
Phil's come in. Phil
has now come in. But Chris Knight is going to have to pit again, but he's going to go onto a set of softs at the closing stages of this race, and he's going to be close enough to Phil Harris to make it dangerous, I think, because, you know, this is the thing now. Phil Harris is in the pits. Chris Knight is going to be coming round. Let's have a look where he is. Chris Knight coming round now. Phil Harris just coming out the pits. Chris Knight will get ahead of Phil Harris. Will he? Let's have a look. No, he won't. And that is just too close. Look at that. That is just way too close, Guido. There was no need for that. And now you've got Phil Harris on a fresh set of mediums, but he's got Chris Knight on a 10th.
Safety car.
Safety car is out. And that's for Callum White. Yes, it is.
Yes,
Callum White has gone out. So let's go on board with Ryan Lear, see if we can see where that was.
Turn 3 we're on. Turn 4.
It looks like, again, on the exit of turn 8, Guido. Yeah, it is on the exit of... yeah, you can see it. Pretty short.
Drive-through penalty speeding under the safety car. Oh, those are really expensive.
It was out of 8
penalty points.
So it was out of 8. So Callum White again, another DNF for Callum White. It's just not going this season so far. It's just not going his way, is it?
No,
really isn't.
And so, the cursed cars in the back.
Yeah. Ryan Doran. Well, let's actually go through our drivers as we are under the safety car at this moment in time. So in P14 is Ryan Doran in the Haas. His teammate Ryan Lear is in P13. In P12 is Jamie Good in the Toro Rosso. P11 is Tony Foster in the McLaren. P10 is Jake Sorrell in the Racing Point. P9 is Adrian Rich in the Renault. P8 is the new Toro Rosso driver of Richard Williams. P7 is Jack Wilson in the Renault. P6 is Sean Street in the McLaren, currently in the pits, taking advantage, going on to a fresh set of mediums, definitely to close the race there. So Sean Street onto a fresh set of mediums. Matt Goodyear in the Mercedes, he's in P5. Josh Diggles, the remaining Rocket Williams, he's in P4. Chris Knight in the Alfa Romeo is P3. Phil Harris in the Ferrari is P2. And Dylan Platt in the Red Bull leading this race. I suspect, because it came in pretty quick actually on the previous lap, I suspect we can actually see the safety car come in at the end of lap 40. So we're going to be restarting then, and then Dylan's going to be going it all over again. Now let's have a look at those tyres, because that will come into play. Obviously Dylan, he's gone onto a nice fresh set of medium compound tyres. They're
back markers.
Yeah, they're back markers. They had to overtake the safety car, so they're just going past. Right. So Dylan Platt on a fresh set of mediums. Phil Harris also on a fresh set of mediums, only 1 lap old, so we'll classify that as fresh.
I have to say, Ryan Lear was disqualified for ignoring Yellow flag.
Ignoring yellow flag. Ryan Doran as well.
Disqualified. Ignoring the yellow flag.
So both the Haas drivers have actually been disqualified, which in actuality is incorrect.
Well, yeah, but the weird thing is, and that's what I said before, I saw, who was it? Jake Sorrell getting disqualified, but they're still driving.
Yeah, they are still driving. I mean,
so there's something not right in...
Oh, Codemasters get it right again. They did a beautiful job.
Codemasters.
Yeah, they did a beautiful job for the official F1 race over the weekend, and yeah, we can still see it happening. Yeah, well, less said about that, the better. Let's put it like this. I think F1 need to look at maybe a different franchise, but anyway, we are on board at this moment in time with Chris Knight. He's currently in P3. And we are under safety car conditions. This is F1 tonight, UK Season 2, Round 5, the Spanish Grand Prix. We are here of the circuit Barcelona de Catalunya. And we've had a really exciting race. Dylan Platt leading most of the way, but then he's come in. Phil Harris assumed that place. Dylan Platt took it back for him. We see some real great fighting with Chris Knight, Phil Harris, Josh Diggles, Matt Goodyear, Sean Street. Really, really good, hard fighting there. And this is really fantastic race. 26 laps remaining. The question is now, how will Dylan Platt deal with that restart? He's pretty good, I've got to say, but he's got to watch out. He's got Phil Harris close in behind him. Chris Knight is dangerous as well. Josh Diggles, he's going to be finding it a little bit tougher because he's on those hard compound tyres, as is Matt Goodyear. And those guys, they're going to be susceptible to the likes of Jack Wilson and Sean Street behind them, I think, aren't they, Guido?
Yeah, anything is going to go again. It's too bad that Josh Diggles wasn't still behind Dylan, because he had a great restart on the safety car.
The safety car is actually going to come in at the end of lap 41, it looks like now. It's not coming in now.
It's because the back markers are not there yet.
Ah, yeah, that explains it. Yeah, so it should be the end of lap 41, so we've got another lap on the safety car. That will leave 25 laps, racing laps remaining, barring any further incidents. I mean, this is really playing into Dylan Platt's hands here, and Phil Harris's. But I think I mean, is it helping, you know, the likes of Josh Diggles and Matt Goodyear? I mean, it's not going to help them on the restart, but it is helping them for the longevity of their tyres, and it is maybe giving Chris Knight a better window to maybe not have to pit in again.
Not have to pit, yeah, exactly. That's that. Well, he probably gets into a fight right now, and that could cost him. But in the end, if he gets free of it and can drive his own part of the race, then he could stay out and doesn't have to change the tires. But I don't have a crystal ball. And it's... Did you? It's a glass one. It's a glass one. I always told it was crystal, but it's too expensive. Traffic jam, traffic jam. I'm gonna stick with Phil and see if he sticks on the back of Dylan. But Dylan is an awesome starter. Yeah, he's going. He hangs on, yeah. Oh, Dylan's taking it, yeah. Oh, Matt Goodyear almost lost it. Jack Wilson is wide. Street's got it. It's again that second corner when your tires are not warm enough. You're gonna lose it. Ryan Lias coming out of the pits because something happened there probably. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm looking at Sean Street now. He's lining up to make an attack. Yeah. Oh, Jack Wilson slides a bit. I saw Jamie Good coming out of the pits, and I don't know if that was a penalty being served or. Well, Dylan Platt's penalty free. Phil Harris is penalty free. Chris Knight is not penalty free. He has at least 3. No. Sorry, one penalty, 3 seconds probably, because I can't see that on here. And then Josh Diggles has got a lot more penalties. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Woods, you got yourself muted?
Oh, sorry, I have. I do apologise. Don't know why. Don't know how that happened. But I was just saying that. I mean, Dylan Platt is pulling away. It's 1.3 seconds off the back of Phil Harris at this moment in time. Chris Knight only 3 seconds off the back of Phil. Josh Diggles 1.2 seconds off the back of Chris Knight. But Phil Harris is coming back at Dylan Platt. But it's all to go for in the closing stage of this race. I'm just wondering though, Chris Knight, I still don't think Chris Knight is going to be able to go to the end of this race, Guido. 38 laps he's going to have to do on those mediums. Okay, we did do 3 laps on the medium compound tyre under the safety car. But I really don't think he's going to be able to stretch it out. He's going to have to come in and go onto a set of softs. But that being the case, he needs to open up that gap to Josh Diggles, really.
3 seconds. Yeah, if he does pit again, he needs to open up the gap. Otherwise, he's going to lose his. Well, and then again, he can hear how many time penalties Josh Diggles has, so he can calculate if he's what time he needs to get to reach a safe distance.
Yeah, that's true enough. But yeah, I mean, God, 21 laps
That's
remaining now.
It's a gamble.
It is a gamble. But I've got to say, I mean, even these guys on the medium runs. I mean, remember, you know, they have had 3 laps under the safety car, but they are racing. I mean, Dylan is definitely full out, as is Phil Harris, as is Chris Knight. But I'm just wondering, I mean, are these guys in front running a risk? Because they're going to have to be doing 28 laps on those medium compound tyres. We did see Dylan do 29 laps with a full fuel load from the start. So it is doable.
It is doable, yeah, definitely.
But again, they are flat out, so they are putting a lot of stress and strain on these tyres.
Sean Street making the attack again.
Yeah, Sean Street getting past Matt Goodyear.
He's making it stick.
Yeah, so Sean Street getting past Matt Goodyear into turn 1. Matt dropping down to 6. He's got Jack Wilson right on his tail in that Renault as well as they're coming into turn 4. I've got to say, Jack Wilson, I think he's done a pretty good race this evening. Jack, he's been in that midfield and he's been strong coming through the field as well.
Jack Wilson's doing a great job, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Good job there from the Renault driver.
Yeah.
Definitely maintaining the pressure to Matt Goodyear, and good solid race there. Yeah. Jake Sorrell picking up the 3-second time penalty in the meantime, again for exceeding track limits. But Matt Goodyear, yeah, good race, but not quite as he'd like it. I mean, 20 laps on those hard compound tyres. He's got another 20 laps to go. He is not going to make it on those hard compound tyres. He's going to have to come in, and he's more than likely going on to set of softs. But he needs to try and keep his track position. He doesn't really want anyone else overtaking him. Jack Wilson looks as if he's going to try and make the move.
Oh, it's too far away. He
is too far away. And that Mercedes is fast in a straight line. He had DRS on him, but couldn't close down the gap. But Matt Goodyear staying with Sean Street, who's on a
penalty.
Yeah. I mean, Sean Street, a much fresher set of mediums there, but Matt Goodyear is really good pace.
Matt Goodyear's got 2 penalties, probably 6 seconds behind.
We'll see that will come into play, obviously, at the end of the race. As I said, that would time. Oh, and Jack going wide there on the exit of 5. That has not helped him. He's got dirty tyres now. He's got to watch it, because that will affect his grip. But it looks like he's got it back under control. Let's have a look now at the runners and riders. As I say, 19 laps remaining. We have Carl Jackson, DNF, for Mercedes, Cameron Widdowson for Williams, Ross Milburn for Racing Point, and Callum White for Red Bull. Ryan Lear for Haas is currently in P14. 13 is Jamie Good for Toro Rosso. 12 is Ryan Doran for Haas. 11 is Tony Foster for McLaren. I've got to say, a bit surprised Tony not in the top 10 there. Always normally in the points. Sure he will be before we finish. Adrian Rich in the Renault is in P10. And the new driver of Richard Williams is in P9. Jake Sorrell for Racing Point, he's in P8. Jack Wilson, as we were just making comment, and for Renault, he's in P7. Matt Goodyear for Mercedes is P6. P5 is Sean Street for McLaren. Josh Diggles is currently in P4 for Williams. Chris Knight maintains that P3 for Alfa Romeo. Phil Harris for Ferrari is in P2, and leading the way, as he has done right from the start, is Dylan Platt. Little break there where Phil Harris took the lead, but again, another great race from Dylan, and he is really refining, that's the wrong word, but reclaiming his form. Let's put it like that. Reclaiming his form, isn't he?
He is, now even I have to think about that in English.
It's not your first language, to be fair.
I'll get back to that.
Yeah, but great job from Dylan. It really has been, hasn't it?
It is, yeah, definitely. Oh, Josh Diggles overtook Chris Knight there.
So Josh Diggles does get ahead of Chris Knight now.
I was looking for a while to P9 a rookie driver, Richard Williams. He does an awesome race.
Yeah, he definitely has.
Up 9 positions.
Yeah.
And he's been driving behind Jake Sorrell for about for a few laps.
has he actually picked up any penalties at all? Do you know, Guido? Can you check that, Richard Williams?
Look at that. I'm gonna look at
Yeah, if you could check that, because I'd like to compare that to, you know, Josh Diggle's at this moment in time. Obviously, he's done a great race as well. Just to remind ourselves, he has gone up 2 places, 5. He's got 1 penalty. Yeah, and I'm just trying to look who else is there. Jake Sorrell, he's gone up 6 places. But yeah, I've got to say, I do agree with you. And okay, we've had some DNS, but Richard had actually done that jump of 9 places before the vast majority of those DNFs. So he has had a great run, I've got to say. Good,
Jake Sorrell shouldn't be a problem
opener
for him, because I can't even count how many penalty points he's got.
Yeah, I think he'll confidently get past him. But we are now with 16 laps remaining. This is F1 tonight, UK. We are here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, for round 5, the Spanish Grand Prix here in season 2 of F1 Tonight UK. And if you're enjoying the racing, this Thursday night, F1 Tonight and Netherlands will be racing here at the Circuit Barcelona de Catalunya, or the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, get it right. They'll be here Thursday night, 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time for round 5 of their season 7. 7 seasons. And it doesn't seem that long ago that we were in, well, I think I joined in season 2, was it, or 3? Can't remember.
I think we started in season 3, didn't we? No, end of season
2. End of season 2.
Brazil.
Brazil, yeah. Please don't watch that on the YouTube, it's quite embarrassing,
Turn
but never mind.
Turn 2, turn 3, turn 5, oh yes, turn 6.
Yeah,
well,
that must have been. It was, it seemed a very long time ago.
Listen, mate, look at how far we've come, and I think it's an awesome job that you do. And with all the broadcast crew is just
I've got to say, big shout out to the F1 Tonight broadcast crew. We've got a great crew together. Thursday nights, you got Dan Hazard, Bert and Adrian Stats Rich commentating on a Thursday night. Myself and Guido obviously commentating on a Tuesday night. But we are merely the front men for a great team. Big shout out to Mark Stappers, Ryan Lear, Phil Harris, and God, who else am I thinking of? Sil DeVitt, Nishay Mahadwa Singh, and everyone.
Weatherman Hermans.
Yeah, Zander Weatherman Hermans indeed. We've got a great broadcast team together, and we're really looking to move forward and improve, not just on the broadcast itself, but also on our social media. Mentioning social media, Guido, have we had any comments? Did anyone listen? Did they put any questions? Have we answered any? Is
I got somebody referring to a tent, and I have no idea what that means. No. Yeah, we had a lot of comments.
Let's give a shout out to some of those people then.
Yeah, Mama Shay, Terry Card, Sander is obviously there. Jonathan Donkel, the creator of the league, is also there. We always have Bas and Slacky.
Yep.
They are always watching. And
so, have we got any unfamiliar names we can give a shout out to, Guido?
Mama Shay. Mama Shay. Mama Shay.
So a big shout out to Mama Shay. Hope you're enjoying the stream.
Terry Card.
Terry Card. No idea, Terry, if you're enjoying the stream. Hope so. Oh, look at this. Jamie Good making the move. Sorry, I just caught that. Jamie Good making the move on Ryan Dorrant for P12. Good solid move into turn 1. As we said, we're going to see, well, I think all the overtakes have been on turn 1, haven't they, Guido, more or less? Yeah, I think they have, yeah.
Turn 1, yeah. Well, turn 1 and at the hairpin.
Yeah. No, well, turn 1, yeah. Hairpin, I would classify it, yeah, but turn 10 as well. I don't think we've actually seen any overtakes at turn 10. They've all been...
yes, we have.
Have we? Who have we seen there, then?
Who lined up there and then made a great overtake while we were watching
that was Chris Knight.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, sorry, that was Chris Knight. Yeah, I do apologise. You're absolutely correct. Right, I'm on board with Matt Goodyear. He's only 7/10 off the back of Sean Street. Looking to zone in on him, but he is on a 27-old lap set of hard tyres. And I'm getting my words, I won't say it, a bit muddled up there. 27 lap old set of hard compound tyres, that's the one. So, but he's still charging through there, isn't he, Matt Goodyear? He's still showing good pace.
Sorry, Matt Goodyear, yeah.
Still showing really good pace. He's definitely closing down on Sean Street, and that surprises me.
He's on attack mode there. He's going to try it on the next straight.
Let's have a look.
Not this one, but probably the one.
He's going to start. He's going to go for it on the start-finish straight, but he's definitely going to put pressure down on Sean Street into turn 10. I'm absolutely sure, and he's going to be looking to ride on his shirt tails, certainly round turn 12 and through the chicane 14, 15 as well. Definitely looking to make the attack, but I can't understand where he's getting this pace from, bearing in mind that Sean Street is on a much fresher set of medium compound tyres, and Sean's got really good pace.
I'm just looking at Phil at this moment.
Phil is maintaining. He's one second off the back of Dylan Platt. He's closing in.
He's closing in. I was watching the comments people made, and
sorry, Matt Goodyear is looking to try and see if he can get his nose past Sean Street to one. Can't quite manage it, but he is definitely getting close and personal with that McLaren. And I've got to say, that's a bit of a surprise, because I'd be expecting him to look to possibly come in. But then again, the fuel load's a lot lighter, isn't it now, Guido? So yeah, it makes a difference. It definitely makes a difference, because Phil Harris is now under a second off the back of Dylan Platt. Oh. Wow, now this is really interesting, because they're coming round the third and final sector now, and this is really going to liven it up. They're round turn 12. Phil Harris is now within DRS of Dylan Platt.
What did I say?
Phil will win? Well, hang on a minute. I think we're a little bit. We may be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, because Phil is really into his ERS, but Dylan is got about lots of ERS left. He's really managing that ERS well. I think that Phil's been attacking on that, and Dylan is just managing it. I think he's probably letting him sort of get in a little bit closer, with the full knowledge that he's going to open up the valves and pull away from him. So,
well, I didn't say we're there yet.
No, well, we've only got 11 laps remaining, Guido. This is going to go very, very quickly now in the closing stages of this race. So there is definitely a real battle going on, as we fully expected, I think, between Dylan and Phil.
Yeah, wicked. You know, it's just great. As we said before, these guys keep pedaling together. Oh, yellow car. Oh, yellow car. Matt Goodyear retired.
No, that's the Renault.
Matt Goodyear retired.
Yeah, safety car. Matt Goodyear has gone out. Let's have a quick look, see if we can see. Oh, there he is.
Turn 4.
Yeah, turn 4. It is turn 4.
And a safety car.
Safety car.
So it's not a yellow car, but it's
well, no, it's got to be,
car.
because he's still half on the track there. So safety car. Oh my goodness. Safety car in the closing stages.
And Phil goes in.
Phil is in. And Dylan is in as well. They're going to be going onto the softs. Here. They're going onto the softs. Definitely going onto the softs. Let's see both the drivers in. Phil Harris going onto the softs, Dylan Platt onto the softs. They're out, and this is really going to mix it up now.
This is going to mix it up.
Josh Diggle surely will be coming in and going onto a set. No, Josh Diggle stays out.
He stays out.
I am really surprised by that, because this would have been a golden opportunity for him to come in. Sean Street is staying out as well, so that's probably, but even so, I think it still would have been worth it.
Wilson speeding under the car.
Yeah, Jack Wilson picking up, what's that, a 5-second penalty for Jack Wilson?
Yeah, it was 5 seconds, yeah.
Was it Jake Sorrell or Jack Wilson? Oh, Jake Sorrell coming into the pits. So was it Jack Wilson that picked up the 5 seconds, or Jake Sorrell for speeding in the pit lane?
No, Jack Wilson.
So Jack Wilson picks up 5 seconds through speeding on the safety car.
Foster, Adrian Rich, Jamie Good,
they're all coming in the pits now.
Riley all in the pits.
Well, they've got nothing to lose now, Guido, have they?
Definitely. No, they're right. I'm wondering what's going to happen in the beginning there, or in the beginning of the line. That's going to be a huge fight. They're all on soft tires.
This is really, really going to liven up the restart of this race now. And the question is when are we going to look at it? It's lap 56. I suspect that the safety car might come in at the end of lap 57, but it's likely to be the end of lap 58. I think it's going to be the end of lap 58, Guido. But we'll see what happens. And that will mean that we will have 8 laps under the 8 racing laps remaining if it does come in at lap 58.
So probably you're probably right. It's not going to take 3.
I think it's going to. Yeah, I think it's going to be. Well, we'll see. I think it will be lap 58. I'm hoping it's going to be the end of lap 57. Now, Guido, I mean, this has completely mixed it up, but it's also left a few drivers, I think, in a very dangerous position. I mean, Jack Wilson's been showing some great pace and speed. Why have I got him showing in the pit? Oh, right, he's going on to a set of softs.
Yeah, but just Dickles is he's gonna lose big time on this one. Because all these guys are gonna go in on soft tires and.
Well, the thing is, Josh Diggles really should have. I think he should have come in because he's only got 11. Well, he's going to have 8 racing laps remaining. He had 11 laps when he should have come in my opinion. But then again, that's my opinion. But he's on 30-lap-old hard compound tyres. Yes, he is going to try and finish this race on those hard compound tyres. And I've got to say, I think he's taking a big risk there.
Huge gamble.
Huge gamble. He's got Sean Street. Is going to be right in behind him on, a much fresher set in comparison of medium compound tyres.
Yeah, but then again, it's medium tyres, 18, all these guys have new tyres.
Yeah, but look at Chris Knight. Chris Knight, he's going to be the man. Chris Knight, Jake Sorrell, and the new rookie driver of Richard Williams as well. Yeah. I mean, this guy has proven himself already in this race, taking 9 places in his rookie race. He's on a fresh set of soft tyres. This is going to be very interesting indeed, and definitely in the danger zone is Josh Diggles, and to an extent as well, Sean Street certainly going to be in the danger zone there as well, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's all going to depend on...
Yeah, I think Dylan is backing him up. He's coming in. He's coming in here on lap 57.
As you said.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping it was 57. Thank God it is. Dylan is going to open it up out of turn 15. Oh no, he's leading into 14. He's opened it up into 14. But Phil Harris is right on it. Phil Harris is right on him now. No DRS. Dylan trying to go defensive, break the toe. He's only got 1 move left.
Harris goes outside.
Oh, but Dylan, I think, has got the better line into 2. Yeah, he has. Shuts the door on Phil Harris. And you can see when I was talking about dirty air, if you can see, I mean, very well recreated in this sim. You can see the haze, the heat haze as you get in close. Yeah. And this is really close, and I think Dylan is feeling a little bit under pressure here.
Yeah, Dylan is under pressure. But this is what you want to see, because now they got full grip, and they can take it to the limit. They can fully take these cars to the limit now, and that's...
Well, just going on board with Chris Knight, because he is really zoning in on the back of Sean Street.
Yeah, Sean Street's getting up to Josh Diggles now.
Yeah, so this is very close now between these guys. And Phil Harris is going to look to try and make a move on Dylan on the straight. I've got to cut to that. If you could keep an eye on Sean Street and the rest of them. And I could quickly cut back, but Phil Harris now, he hasn't got the gap. He hasn't got the gap. He can't do it. He's not going to be able to close down that gap. Definitely not. Dylan stays ahead of him. Got 7 laps remaining now. This F1 Tonight UK. Season 2, round 5, the Spanish Grand Prix. And this is a nail-biting finish here. Dylan Platt, Phil Harris, battling it out on a fresh set of soft tyres. Got Josh Diggles in P3. He's on a raggedy old set of hard compound tyres. Got Sean Street behind him on a reasonable raggedy set of medium tyres. And then Chris Knight on a lovely fresh set of soft tyres in behind them. He is going to be looking to try and get past them, push as hard as he can. He's certainly got the ability to do so. In the meantime, Phil Harris is looking to try and see if he can get the upper hand on Dylan Platt, but Dylan, he's starting to pull away from him. The gap is 1.2 seconds. He's outside. He's outside the DRS. Chris Knight closing in, as Guido says, around 12 on Sean Street. Phil Harris out of DRS range. He will not have it on the start-finish straight. He won't be able to close down. Now Sean Street is closing right on the back of Josh Diggles here. Lovely overhead view there. Chris Knight closing in on the back of the McLaren of Sean Street as well. We've got 6 laps remaining, and this is going to be a fight right to the end. Jake Sorrell looking to push as well. He's putting in close and personal with Chris Knight. Then we've got Richard Williams, the new driver. He's backing off somewhat, but he's still very much in the mix, and anything can happen at this stage of the race. P8 is Ryan Lear. He's just made the move on Adrian Rich, coming round out of 1 into 2. He gets up into P8. Adrian Rich in the Renault's in 9. Tony Foster in the McLaren is in 10, but he's under pressure from Jamie Good in the Toro Rosso, currently in P11. These guys are fighting for championship points. Yes, look at that. Jamie Good gets ahead of Tony Foster. Pips him round turn 4 before they get down into turn 5, and now Tony Foster, well, he's out of the points, and this is really unusual because he's not normally there. But look at this, Jamie Good side by side with Adrian Rich. They come round 9, makes the move on him. What a move! And Jamie Good is really charging through the field
Tony
here.
Foster also took Adrian Rich.
Tony Foster gets up into 10. He makes the move on Adrian Rich as well. I don't
He's
know.
out of the points.
Is he run out of fuel? Let's have a look. Is he running out of fuel? No, he's got fuel left. He's just not able to maintain the pace. So Tony Foster gets back in the points. He's in 10. Jamie Good is in 9. Ryan Lear in the Haas is in P8. Maybe that curse isn't true. Who knows? And then we've got Richard Williams in P7, the rookie driver for Toro Rosso. P6, Jake Sorrell for Racing Point. 5 is Chris Knight for Alfa Romeo. And I'm just trying to see, he's just not able to close down sufficiently to Sean Street. He's in P4 and he's defending his position well, but equally Josh Diggles on those really old hard compound tyres, 34 laps, Guido, and he's still going for it.
Unbelievable.
I've got to say, but he's in really dangerous ground because he's so susceptible now to, you know, he goes wide, he's going to get a puncher, and that's it.
Think it's,
Matt Goodyear's gone out. Matt Goodyear's gone out.
Oh, Matt Goodyear's gone out.
Yeah. I think he hadn't gone out before. Has he already gone out? I don't think he had he?
What?
No, he went out earlier. Sorry, he went out earlier. I'm just trying to think.
No, why didn't... Well, okay. Just to be fair to everybody, we just saw, and you're probably going to get it up on screen, that Goodyear's coming out. But he was already out. So
I think he was already out. I think he just left the session. Whew, that was a bit of...
I have no idea.
We've got high adrenaline here. High adrenaline. And Josh Diggles still holding his own there. But surely Sean Street now is going to look to try and close and make the move on him. Surely, yes, look at this, he's right on behind him, he's going to get alongside into turn 1. Sean Street making the move. They're wheel bagging, and Josh is still trying to pull away, but in the meantime, Chris Knight is really zoned in on him now. He's right on the tail of Sean Street as they're coming up to turn 4. Is he going to look to make the move? He backs off slightly, lets him go ahead. Ooh. This is really, really hard racing here going on, and what? Oh, Chris! I thought he was going to go into the back of the McLaren there, just narrowly missed him.
No, he missed him. He's
only narrowly. What a fight going on here for P3 and P4.
You got the fight of the tyres there. It's the soft against the medium against the hard tyres. And he makes the move.
He's trying to make the move. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. He forces Sean's out, but he stays in that place. And great defensive work there from Sean Street, I've got to say. And Chris Knight is looking at every which way he can to try and get in between these cars get past this McLaren. If he could get past the McLaren, I think he's got a good chance of getting past Josh Diggles in a Williams. But this McLaren here, Sean Street, is just not giving him any opportunity at all.
Come on, come on. He's not getting any closer. What's going on there?
Oh, hang on, nose to tail here as they're coming through turn one. He has closed down now. Oh, but look at this. Look at this.
Look at this in the corner. He's okay. He's got higher wings, so
he's got to try and see if he can get it out of 5. But look, I mean, Short Street doing a great job there, maintaining his line there, looking not to get phased.
Williams goes for the attack. P7 goes for the attack on Jake Sorrell.
Yeah. Richard Williams, Toro Rosso, looking to try and make the move on Jake Sorrell. Can't quite make it stick. Had to back off there. In the meantime, Sean Street, Chris Knight still in there. Richard Williams closing in on Jake Sorrell. Into 10, he's definitely going to look to make the move on that start-finish straight. Equally, Chris Knight's got to try and make the move there as well. But these guys are, I've got to say, Josh Diggles, Sean Street doing a great job holding off these guys behind them, but to full advantage of Phil Harris and Dylan Platt, who are leading the way. But this is a fight for the podium here. Oh, and Chris Knight goes very wide out of 16, right onto the rough. That has really hurt him. He's now 8/10, 9/10 behind Sean Street. That is not what he wanted to do on those soft compound tyres. Oh, dearie me, he's going to have to really fight back again now. This has not helped him, but Sean Street, 3/10, still holding in there. He's been right on the tail of Josh Diggles for, what, 5 laps since the restart. And he's just not letting go, but I am amazed that Josh Diggles is managing, A, to stay on the track, and B, to stay ahead of him.
Richard Williams just almost lost the car there. He almost went wide.
What was that, out of 5?
He's really fighting with Jake Sorrell there, and I'm just sticking on to him. Because he's really taking his time to line up for the attack, and he tries to make it a smart move. Look, Jake Sorrell is making mistakes, so he's waiting for that probably, and it's just, you know, he's doing the smart thing here, backing off, waiting on the right time, and just make a move. But keep your composure. Stick with it.
2 laps remaining. We are on the penultimate lap of this 66-lap race. Dylan Platt leads the way at this moment in time in that P1 position. Let's have a look at the field. P12 is Jack Wilson in the Renault. P11 is his teammate Adrian Rich, so no points for Team Renault at this moment in time. P10 is Tony Foster for McLaren. P9 is Jamie Good for Toro Rosso. P8 is Ryan Lear for Haas. P7, is Ryan Lear for Haas. P6 is the new driver of Richard Williams for Toro Rosso. P5 is Jake Sorrell for Racing Point. P4, as we've been watching, Sean Street for McLaren. P3 is Josh Diggles for Williams. P2 is Phil Harris for Ferrari. But leading the way, Dylan Platt for Red Bull. He's rapidly approaching his final lap now as we go on board with him for that final lap. Dylan Platt starting lap 66, and he has driven a great race this evening, hasn't he, Guido?
Yeah, it's an awesome race. It was an awesome race. And to say we're not totally there for the rest, because I'm still in the back, and maybe still winning. No, they're not making another move.
No, I think everyone's going to pretty much stay on there. I mean, now the only one to watch here is Sean Street on Josh Diggles, and he is trying to do his best that he possibly can to get past that Williams. But I've got to say, fair play to Josh Diggles to actually manage to stay ahead of him.
Having said that, Richard Williams is going to make a move because he's sticking on. He's really in the gearbox of Jake Sorrell there.
Yeah, definitely. Got to go with our race leader there. Got to catch him going over the line. He's just coming down to turn 10 now. Richard Williams coming out of 5 down towards 6. I don't think he's going to be able to make the move before the end of this race. So let's get back with our race leader, Dylan Platt. He's coming round the final set of corners, round 13, down into the chicane of 14, 15, the penultimate turn, coming round the final corner now. Dylan Platt for Red Bull takes the win here at the Spanish Grand Prix circuit, Barcelona, there, Catalunya. Phil Harris for Ferrari takes second place. But who will take third? Because it's not going to be Josh Diggles, although he will cross the line in third. Sean Street.
Sean Street, yeah.
Yeah, Sean Street takes third
Williams.
Place.
Look at Richard Williams.
And Richard Williams, gotta say, great run there from Richard Williams. Richard Williams takes P5, the rookie driver for this evening. Does race, as I said, with IRL. He's one of their Tier 1 drivers, and he's shown his form here this evening, hasn't he, Guido?
Yeah, he's done awesome, starting from the back and coming up all the way to P5. Having well, I don't know if he had a clean race, but it looked like an awesome clean race.
Yeah, absolutely. What a fantastic race there. Dylan Platt takes the win. Phil Harris for Ferrari is second, and third, and once again on the podium, Sean Street for McLaren. This really is making a very, very interesting start to this season 2 for F1 Tonight UK. What a race it has been. Well, Guido, I don't know about you, but I'm about ready to take a great big gulp of a reasonably cold drink and soothe my vocal cords.
Yes, that will be a good one. Yes.
Okay, everyone. Well, we're just going to announce a driver of the day, and I've got to say we're in full agreement here, Guido. Driver of the day, definitely our rookie driver for Toro Rosso, Richard Williams.
Richard Williams, definitely. Awesome first race, awesome drive.
Yeah.
And
started P18, finished P5. Okay, we had a number of DNS, but even so, he picked up 2 penalties. But for an opening race, great result. So Richard Williams, driver of the day. We will be back next week, Tuesday night. And, oh God, where are we next week? Canada?
Oh, Canada.
Yeah, I think it is, isn't it? Pretty sure it is. Can't remember now. I've lost all track of the calendar, to be quite honest.
I lost all track. I need a drink.
Yeah, same here. Well, look, we hope you've enjoyed the stream this evening. We will be back next Tuesday for the F1 Tonight UK Round 6. This Thursday night, don't forget, F1 Tonight Netherlands, same channel, 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time. We look forward to seeing you next week. From me, it's a good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Take care. Look after yourself.